What a sick fuck.
The hardest 3 thrusts. Dude, I'm ripping my balls off.
Come to my house telling me to shut the fuck up and then telling me to reel it back in.
Welcome to the Call Her Daddy podcast. I'm Cameron, and I'm just kidding. This is the Aggro Labs podcast. Thank you for listening. And the reason I say that is because I have 2 beautiful guests with me today. I have my wonderful fiancé and Jenna.
Hi, I'm fiancé.
Hi, I'm Jenna.
We sound the same.
A little bit.
That's funny.
It's really my other split personality.
The whole reason I wanted girls to be on this podcast is because one of her friends told me that I sound sexist.
Oh, absolutely. You are absolutely misogynistic.
I can see it a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to destroy you.
You're going to destroy me.
Yes, I'm going to expose every lie you've ever told on a podcast.
Do you listen regularly?
I did it first, but then the podcasts just start pissing me off because of the lies. So then I stopped.
What were the lies?
That you throw away your underwear when you get home. I actually took a TikTok video going through all your underpants and showing all the holes.
They were small holes, though.
Yo, I fit my entire arm through. And for your listeners, I am not tiny. I'm a big bitch. I got a big arm.
You're not that big.
No.
Yeah.
I'm just like Jenna over here is petite. I'm not petite.
You're a whole lot of woman, baby. So, were you nervous to come on the podcast?
I mean, a little bit. I just, can't think of things to say on the top of my head. So, I'm a little nervous, that's it.
You did last time you were here.
Yeah.
We didn't do a podcast. But you were talkative.
Yeah. I thought it would be cool to have both you guys on because you guys are probably the 2 women other than my mother that I'm relatively close with. Only because I have to work with Jenna 8 hours out of the day. I'm forced to be next to her.
He doesn't actually like you. I'm just kidding. No, he actually loves you. He's always coming home telling me all about your guys' day and showing me all the little
for the bestie.
So
I know all of your secrets, so.
Oh, no.
You hang out with him more than I do.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's true.
We've had it really sucks. This is actually something I wanted to bring up, but men and women have never been through what we're being through in our relationships right now, which is that both of our significant others, all of us, all work. We all go to work, we all work 40 hours or more a week, and then we're left with very meager time frames to hang out with one another.
Well, that's considering that other things don't need to be done.
Yeah, for sure. It's one works one shift, and then you get home, and then the other one's gone, and then the other one gets back and sleeps, and then it's time for you to get up and go, and...
That's our life.
Yeah.
It's really hard, actually.
Yeah, it's incredibly hard because especially it's your favorite person, and because of responsibilities, you can't spend that quality time with them.
Yep. I go through some long weeks. I'll start to feel it, I'll know, because I'll start getting crabby and irritated with them, but really I just need the dick.
Yep.
For sure. And that's another thing, too. It's we don't even have a bad sex life. We just have a bad work life, which means we have a bad sex life. You know what I mean? We don't have a bad sex life. We have a great sex life, but it's just those 5 days of being apart from one another just fucking suck.
Yeah, and I'm not coming home from work and doing anything. I'll come home, sit for 20 minutes, and just then I'll take a shower, eat, go to bed. No, not like that.
What was that?
No, not like that.
Were you doing sound effects for your Hitachi?
No, that came off wrong. I meant my brain will just flatline for a good 25 minutes.
Every day I come home, that Hitachi's slaying on the bed, dude.
Absolutely, 100%.
She cuffs it all real nice and cuddles with a blanket right there.
You know what his name is?
I don't know. I don't.
Kimmy.
Oh.
Or what? Mini-me. But it's really mean to you. I'm just kidding. Yours isn't that big.
Damn.
I ain't blessed, but I ain't stressed. I gotta work with what the Lord gave me.
Mm-hmm.
That was something that was surprising when I got with her, is that she has just like this big box of sex toys.
Mm-hmm. It's not even a good box. It's a plain cardboard box, but I painted it black. So it's not even like it's not, I don't know.
Just to be a little edgy.
Yeah, no, that's what I thought. Yeah, it's full.
One of the most embarrassing moments of my life is when my girlfriend picked out the pocket pussy for me. We like walked into the sex store.
Dude, for like 2 weeks, I was like, we should get you one. He's like, no, I'm good. I don't need it. And I'm like, yeah, but you'll like it. He's like, no, I'm good. I don't want to be that dude. And then I just took him and I was like, which one? And we were standing there and I was like, I bet you like this one. And he was like, that's actually the one I was going to pick.
Yeah, 100%. And it really emasculated me that she knew me so well that she picked the one that I wanted. You know what I mean? I was just like, what the fuck, dude? I was like, that's not the one I want.
Have you gone into a sex store before?
Oh my god, so it's actually very shocking how like casual it is just to go shopping for sex toys.
It
I never
is.
thought it was like a casual thing. I thought
People are friendly.
I was like scared to do it, but me and my friends one day I was like, I really want to go, and they were like, we'll go with you, and we went, and we all got matching vibrators, and that was it. It was
Like
fun.
big vibrators or like just the little tiny
Just a little one, just a little
Yeah.
one. It was my first one, so you know I didn't know what to expect, so I had to go safe.
Toledo and the surrounding area has some really good sex stores. Him and I drove like an hour to go do something stupid a couple weeks ago, and I was telling him how back home the closest sex store was at least 45 minutes away. But it was nothing. I mean, everything was 45 minutes away because I
Right.
lived out in like practically cornfields. So, but yeah, I used to like fill the van up, and me and a bunch of friends would go up to the sex store, and you'd have to go up with some money so that you wouldn't have to like always keep going back to make the trip. We just stock up.
It'd be just a gang of people walking around with large dildos and
Oh, it was
vibrators.
sketchy. It had like the 25-cent booths,
Oh,
private viewing booths.
You guys had those out there too?
Uh-huh.
Dude, the one we went to when you bought the pocket pussy was so creepy.
Yeah, it was. There was like a secret not torn down, but it was like under maintenance hallway.
Yes.
You had to like climb over cracks in the wall. Like
There was like a big sign that was like private viewing booths right when you walked in, and then like a railway leading to like the back rooms. But
it was like decrepit. It was like falling apart.
It was like on like this big red sign that was like flashing like private booths, and then but like there was a bunch of cars in the parking lot, but you see nobody. It was just us and then like
They're all in
the
the booth.
attendant. I'm just like, dude, I'm gonna get murdered here, dude.
He was so embarrassed. We parked, and it was the store that's on Detroit.
Detroit and LaGrange.
He's like, we gotta hurry up. No, don't play games. There was like 2 front doors, but one of them wasn't really a door. So he's like, go. I can't let anybody know I'm here.
Dude, I did not want anyone from my high school to see me at that place, dude. Can you imagine? Like, that I haven't seen these people in 10 years, and they're just like, oh, there's Cameron going to that fucking weird sex store. Fucking, whatever. Yeah, dude, it wasn't. And then the guy, there was like one guy, like he was around too. He had walked out while you were picking out my pocket pussy. So weird to say. And he was just like,
That thing couldn't even fit in your pocket, so I don't know why it's called a pocket pussy.
Yeah, no. And he was like looking around. He had like Jeffrey Dahmer glasses, and he wasn't buying anything. He was just looking around. He was really looking at my girlfriend. You know what I mean? That's what he was doing. He was just trying to get a whiff while we were in the store.
Men at sex stores are actually more chivalrous and friendly than at Home Depot. Can we talk about Home Depot? You ever gone to a Home Depot by yourself?
no.
Don't. Just don't.
Why? What
It is
happened?
terrible. Walking into Home Depot, and like you're smart, you're a DIY girl, I can tell. If you're like, damn, I need like this specific paint from Home Depot, you gotta go locked and loaded. There's these things TikToks that went viral, where girls were putting their phone on video and putting it in their back pocket. And
Oh,
walking
to see who's
through.
looking at their ass.
I did that. I took a 25-minute video. It was everyone, even the workers. even like the old workers who like are doing something because they're retired and they're just bored, I felt attacked. Really.
For sure.
It's bad.
And she's got a fat dump truck too, dude.
I mean, I gotta be honest though, like, there's nothing wrong with looking, because I be looking at girls' fatties too sometimes.
No, me too. Me too. It's when it's like weird and creepy though.
Yeah,
It's when I'm
sure.
like, okay, you're being weird. I tell people at work that I'm gonna get in trouble. I don't wear yoga pants and not know what I got. Like, I wear yoga pants because I do have a fat ass.
Right.
And I don't mind if people look, but damn, at least wave or something. Smile. I don't know. I know you're looking. But like, if it's like the weird dude who like comes up and he's like staring at my ass and he's like, can I help you? Just staring at my ass. I'm like, no, I'm good.
So like in the beginning of our relationship, she would like go to Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever.
No, Lowe's is okay. Menards is okay.
It's just Home Depot.
It's literally just
It's
Home Depot.
just Home
No,
Depot.
okay, so we're painting the cabinets upstairs. I started this project like a week ago. I went out of my way to go to Lowe's, and they didn't have what I needed, and I was so upset that I had to go to Home Depot.
So she would tell me these stories about Home Depot. And it was like every time she went to Home Depot, the stories would just get more crazier. She would just be like, yeah, some guy accosted me for 20 minutes, dude. It was nuts.
No, I have it on video.
So listen, I was just sitting there like what the whatever, dude. Like, I'm just thinking like, you know, because like when I'm with her,
It's not just Home Depot. When I go anywhere by myself, some shit happens.
yeah, she'd be like, I'm at Kroger's and some guy followed me to my car. And I'm like, no, that didn't happen. Like, they probably just had a car next to you. Because like when I'm with her, like I don't see that stuff. Like no one even talks to her when I'm with her. You know what I mean? And
I started recording because he wouldn't believe me. He's like, I don't know. And we'll even go to the place where I'm like, that's the cashier that said that thing to me. And like, they won't even make eye contact. But he's a big dude. So.
Yeah, why would they? Like, you're there.
Right.
It looks scary. But you're not.
Right. So then she finally like filmed,
I started recording.
and I was just like, holy shit, you're not lying.
I was at Home Depot doing the phone record thing in my back pocket, and this much older gentleman, older than my grandpa, was like, damn girl, you looking fine.
What the fuck?
He's like, how am I supposed to focus when you're running around being a distraction?
Wait, let's talk about my fucking neighbor walking into my backyard with a fucking wife that lives 2 doors down and fucking 3 daughters that live across the street hollering at my fucking fiance. Can we talk about that?
What?
He's weird. He's weird. I was doing yard work. Well, okay, pause, rewind. So our schedules don't line up. We're mostly alone. If I'm at home, I'm hustling.
Right.
So I'm doing yard work and shit. One weekend, I don't know, a couple months ago. He's always super friendly. Comes up, talks, and I'm nice. So I'm like, whatever. Hi, how you doing? What's up with you? One day I'm backing out of the driveway and I have my windows down, and he comes up to my car as I'm like mid-drive, and he's just like, damn, when did you change your hair? And I'm like, oh, I did it, whatever. Just trying to play it off friendly. He's like, you look good. You
How
look
creepy.
fine." And I was just like, thanks. What am I going to do? He's my neighbor. And then the next weekend I was doing yard work in the back. And I was mowing, so I had mowed where I couldn't see the fence, and then I was moving to where I could see the fence. And this man was opening up our backyard fence to walk back there to ask if I wanted help. Which again is, thanks. Don't need your help.
Creepy, bro.
So
That's weird.
creepy.
And
That's
then
weird.
when he sees me, he won't even make eye contact
No.
with me. He won't even stop and say hi. None of that shit. He avoids me like the fucking plague, because I'll tell his fucking wife. I'll tell fucking Susie what you were doing in my goddamn backyard. You know what I mean?
There's no one should be walking into my backyard.
Yeah, that's really weird.
Yeah.
Unless I'm like, hey girl, I'm in the back.
I'm the only person allowed in her backyard.
People are weird. I don't know. And then honestly, like most of the time, like men's approach to things are so wrong. They're so wrong. Like if you were just a friendly guy and you weren't weird, I would probably talk to you more.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, they make it weird when it doesn't have to be. For sure. Like, you can just walk up and say, hi, like, how are you doing? But they don't do that.
They don't. They gotta comment on how thick I am.
I just want to know, because What's the creepiest interaction that you guys have ever had with a man?
You first.
I don't know. I have to think about it.
I know.
You know?
Oh, I know mine.
Say it.
I was in high school. I was a senior in high school, and I was also in college my senior year. I knocked out a bunch of credits in high school for my senior year, so I could do nothing. But then I wound up getting accepted into like an advanced now program. So I was doing a couple high school credits. I was in college, and I was working part-time. And I met this guy, I'm not going to say his name, in my college class. And I'm going to try to make sure I remember this right.
Were you of age by that time? Were you like
Close.
17? Were you 18?
I was 17 or 18.
Okay.
Close. And he had a crush, and he'd walk me out to my car every day, which was fine. It was sweet, kind of creepy, but I fed into it. And he had asked me out to like homecoming and gave me the money to go get the tickets. Fine. So I'm getting ready to go to work one day, and he calls me, and he's like, I have no one else to call. He had lived like 45 minutes away. He had drove a little ways to go to this college. And he apparently had been stung by a bee. And I was on my way to work. And I called work, and I'm like, yo, I gotta call off. I gotta go give my friend a ride to the hospital. So
Just got stung by a bee.
he got stung by a bee, and he was allergic. So he was like
Find an
hyping it up.
EpiPen, not a fucking hospital.
I don't know. He was freaking out. I'm gonna go into anaphylactic shock. I need your help. So I'm like, okay, why don't you call 911? He's like, well, I'm already on the phone with you. And I'm like, fine, whatever, I'm on the way. Didn't think anything of it. I get there. Take him to the hospital. I'm sitting in the ER with him for like hours, right? And shit just didn't line up. Like, it was a while ago now, so I can't even remember. It was something so weird. Like, he was fine. He wasn't even allergic. He lied about being allergic. His grandma wound up coming up to the emergency room and was like asking me a bunch of questions. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't even know what happened. I don't even think he got stung by a bee. I wound up going to work still that day, just later. I come to find out that this man had sat in the parking lot waiting for me to get off work for like 7 hours.
Oh my god.
And it was so weird. Some other weird shit happened. That next day, I had texted him like, yo, this is not good. Like,
Yeah, that's some stalker shit
that's
for
some
sure.
weird shit. And I came back to give him his money for the homecoming tickets. And he had dropped the money on the ground and had accused me of stealing it in front of the whole class. And like, we're all grown adults at this point because I'm in class with a bunch of college students.
Right.
And oh my god, it was just freaky. He like chased me out to my car, was screaming at me, accused me of stealing his money. And dude had been like following me in his car after class. Like, it was so weird.
It's really weird.
Yeah.
That's weird.
There was more to it, but that was the gist of it. It was weird.
Do you remember yours?
Yeah, I remember it, sadly. So, back in high school, I dated this guy for like 3 years. I was a freshman when we first started dating, and he was a sophomore. He had his own little group of friends, and we would all hang out, and this one friend in his friend group was like really, really weird. And everyone at school...
Like how weird? Like explain why it was weird, please.
Geeky.
I don't know. He was like older because he failed a bunch of grades sometimes, and all he did was smoke weed all day, didn't have a job. He was just weird.
He lived at his grandma's.
And did weird things, and he was always making weird comments about girls, and it just made me very uncomfy.
Mm-hmm.
But because I dated that guy and they were friends, I would all hang out with them, whatever. So we'll call the weird one Chad.
Chad.
We'll call
That's
him
a good
Chad.
name for a weird person.
Okay. So one day, do you guys remember Kik Messenger? Like the Kik Messenger app?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I had it because I used it in middle school, but it was still on my phone in high school. I just never used it. Well, I get a notification from Kik one night, and I'm like, what the fuck? He just kicked me. So I go to open it, and it's some random account, and they're just like, hey, cutie, like, what's up? I ignore it. Then, like, a day later, messages me again on some weird shit, like, trying to flirt with me, get my number, whatever. I ignore it. Then, like, a week later, I'm babysitting these kids, get another notification, and it's a fucking dick pic. And I'm like, ew, like, what? Open it, and I'm like, wow, that background looks really familiar. So I start zooming in on the background, and it's fucking Chad's room. It's Chad's room. You can see his TV.
That is
and
so weird.
He played COD, so like you could see the COD loading screen on the TV. That's all he did all day. And you could see like the blue walls in his room. And I was just like, what the fuck? So I don't let him know that I know. So I'm just like playing along with it or whatever. And then I text my boyfriend at the time, and I'm like, hey, like, you know Chad just sent me a dick pic on Kik, right? And he was like, actually, I do know. I told him to do it. I was trying to see if you were loyal.
That, I was going to say that. I know another horror story. It didn't happen to me. It happened with someone I worked with who, her boyfriend created a fake Facebook account to try to catch her ass. But she's loyal and she's beautiful and she's amazing. And he kept doing it. And, like, she didn't get caught up in anything. She, like, searched his phone one night, and they had been together for a while, and found this, like, fake Facebook account, and it was him the whole time. What?
Yeah, that was pretty horrible.
So what was your boyfriend's reasoning at the time for that? Like, did he explain it anything more? Just like, yeah, Chad sent a dick pic. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't know, because it was like my freshman year of high school. We were just started recently dating, and he was
And
like,
he was older, so you were trying to be careful, maybe.
He was like, I was just trying to see if you were being loyal, if like you would cheat on me, and I was like, that's a really
That
weird
is
way.
so
Having one of
weird.
your good friends sending me a picture of their micro-chode dick.
Wait, the best part about dick
Was it
pics?
soft or hard?
I don't know. I don't want to remember.
The best part about high school dick pics, I had not received a dick pic in my adulthood that has been like this, but in my teenage years where they have their entire hand covering their dick. So it's like a dick pic, but you can't even tell like how nice of a dick it is because it's just completely covered. That is weird.
It's just a hand with like a dick head poking out
No,
of it.
literally. That's what, yes. Yes.
I like doing like the side view. You know what I mean? So you can get the base and like the head in there. You know what I'm talking
You
about?
mean like an undershot angle?
No, like if this is it, instead of taking it like just dead on, right? You take it from this side, right?
Oh,
So you get the
okay.
whole profile.
Okay.
Of it. That's the ticket, dude.
Well, like, by the way, guys, girls can totally tell when you send a dick pic if you're trying to angle it to make it look bigger.
For sure.
Girls can totally tell.
For sure, dude. The magic trick back in the day, toilet paper or like
What?
an object. You got to compare it to an object.
Oh
You know what I
my
mean?
I
god.
agree. Especially if they're covering it with their whole hand.
Like a water bottle or something?
Yes. Something uniform like
Yeah, a TV remote. You know.
What I love is dick pics, but really they're just like trying to show off their abs. So it's like a dick pic in a mirror where they're like naked, boom. But really they're like flexing though too.
Yeah.
So it's like weird. I don't know.
I haven't. I mean, I've sent dick pics to you probably, but
I like dick videos.
yeah.
Dick pics don't do nothing for me.
I know. But
If I wanted to see a penis, I mean, I don't think it'd be that hard.
yeah, no, I think it's definitely weird when guys send unwarranted dick pics. Like, hey, this girl who I've been messaging who hasn't talked to me for 3 weeks. What if I send her a pic of my magical wiener and she talks back to me? That seems logical.
I think genitalia in general is kind of gross. Like, if you're not in the mood and you just randomly got, like, a picture of someone's fucking big old dick, like, that's gross.
For sure.
It's disgusting. It's wrinkly and hairy and, like, discolored most of the time, and they got, like, some ingrown hairs, and you're just like, ew. Same with vaginas, though, and I'm fond of women. I don't know if I would consider myself to be completely gay, but, like, vaginas are weird.
They are very
They
weird.
look weird.
I don't know. I like vaginas. Just
Well,
gonna
I
be
like
honest.
penises, too, but, like, if you're just looking at a vagina, you're just like, ugh.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. Because if fucking I don't know, a person in my life who I could think of, but if just some random woman that I knew just sent me a picture of her vagina, I'd be like, what the fuck?
Like, fucking blown out pussy or, like,
It's got just like one of those straight hairs on the labia.
that's disgusting.
It's just a stray hair just standing
I'm not
up
even
around
like
the
hating
labia.
on certain kinds of vaginas, just like in general. The only thing that is sexual well, shouldn't be sexual, but is sexualized is like boobies. I will always look at boobies.
Boobies
Always.
are great. Boobs. I'm not a boobs guy, but they're great.
Yeah, I'm more of a butt gal.
Yeah.
You're not? You like boobies?
No, I like butts.
Oh, I thought you said you're not a butt girl.
There's just something about a butt that does something for me.
Or like hips. It's more about the hips.
Hips, butt. My favorite though, when I'm attracted to someone, is the vagina. That's my favorite. That's my favorite. So we were talking about both these memories are from high school, right? I didn't experience crazy women until after high school. I'm gonna say her name on the podcast. I really don't care. Olivia.
Ooh.
I really don't care. But
I just feel sorry for the poor girl.
dude,
We're exposing you, Olivia. Sorry. No, that shit is weird. Like, when are we gonna stop with like the weird toxicity? Okay, toxicity within a private relationship is one thing, and this is something I've said to people just recently too. Is like, I don't even think there's anything wrong being a woman who chooses a little toxicity if you do it within your private life. But like, if you're choosing toxicity and then you're running around to everybody else like, oh, I can't stand this, oh, blah 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 blah, then you just sound stupid.
Right.
well,
That I meant like in general though, like the type of toxicity you had in your story, or mine with my story, or his with Olivia. That is weird. Why are grown ass adults acting like that?
so I won't even tell the newest story about her. I'll just
I
I'll tell the oldest story.
You tell the old one, I'll tell the new one.
The oldest story is that, I mean, it was just a Tinder hookup, you know what I mean? Just and so
A repeat Tinder hookup.
yeah. So we hooked up a couple of times, and
Hand me your card.
I eventually stopped seeing this girl because she was just so batshit crazy. Like, obviously, all the three of us, Jason, you, we all work for the same company, right? And they work us like dogs. Like, they just do. Like we work a lot. And so we don't really have like a life. So when I go over there, I would go over there and it was like, I don't know, let's just say it's a Sunday night. So I told her, like, oh, I'm going to have Sunday and Monday off. I'll come over. So I stayed the night. However, I left early in the morning because they called me into work. Because I'm a salaried employee now, so now I have to show up. So she burns my work shirt that I had left over there.
She did that?
She had burned my work shirt, like threw it out or some bullshit, and was like, you know, this whole escapade about how I lied about working and, you know, fucking da-da-da-da, and like, but like she literally burned something just because I went to work, you know? So I stopped talking to her, and I'm not gonna lie, I kept talking to her because like was that like that sick part of me, like I can make her do whatever I wanted whenever I want.
Right.
I could like treat her like shit and then like come over and get what I wanted out of it and leave. So I stayed talking to her for a while. And you can tell your newest story.
He's nervous. He kept talking to her. I don't know. I'm giving him the stink eye. Even after we started dating, he kept talking to her, and he got caught up in it in Snapchat, which is fine. We're working through it, or have worked through it. And of course, I made him explain to her how he has a new girlfriend. This was a while ago, and she understood. She was like, "Yeah, I get it. It's good, right?" He's like, "I'm not gonna message you again. This is who I'm with. Whatever." Her best friend / roommate, like 2 weeks ago.
Who I never, like, I just know her as this girl's roommate.
Right.
You know what I mean?
She messages him like, "Were you ever thinking about me when you were fucking Olivia? I would love to just down your fucking cock," or something like that. How weird.
That is very, very
like
weird.
3 o'clock in the morning.
Like, you know, the two of them were probably sitting there.
Talking about or some shit.
Like, why are you still talking about him though? That is weird.
Obsession.
I hope she listens to this. I see you, Olivia. I chose not to say anything to you.
I had to block her on TikTok.
Yeah, and then out of nowhere, she started following him on TikTok.
She followed your TikTok?
No, he's had her blocked on everything else since all this happened like a year and a half ago. And then out of nowhere last week, she started following his TikTok.
Yeah, she just liked one of my TikToks. I'm like, I mean, it was like some fatal attraction type shit. I'm just like, yo, like, and like, here's the thing. As a man, if you would call out a woman and be like, yo, that's a little far, young lady. Right?
All hell breaks loose.
all-
All hell breaks loose.
I don't give a fuck about you. You know what the fuck you're talking about. Your
No,
dick is.
guys do the same thing.
I know they do, but it's worse with a woman because your dick is small.
Oh
like,
no! Oh no! I think it's worse with a man. You shut a man down, suddenly you're a whore. You are. If
You're a
you-
bitch. You're a slut.
You have no self-respect. Just because you were like, no thanks, I didn't really want the dick pic. They're like, yeah, that's right, you fucking whore.
Yo, there was this one girl who like tried to like hate on me for like not having a bed frame. She was like, your bed doesn't even have a bed frame on it. And I'm like, and I fucked you on that bed. The fuck are you talking about? You got fucked on the floor. You know? Like
Dirty fucking
Yeah.
vacuumed floor.
like yeah, I don't have a bed frame. What does that say about you?
Well, speaking of men taking it harder than women, this is some middle school ass shit, so we weren't mature or anything like that. But this guy in middle school would try to give me like high fives or some stupid ass shit in the hallways, right?
The hug me guy? Can I get the hug guy?
Yes, for sure. Yes. So he had my number and he would be texting me, and you know I'm friendly, so like I would just text him but make it very clear that I was not interested. Well, as soon as I had to be really clear, like, hey dude, like I don't really look at you that way, blah blah, he was like, well, why don't you go fucking kill yourself?
Something that's happened recently is I'll be at work, I work in a factory. I'll be at work and I'm walking to the bathroom. There's this one specific material guy. He drives the little buggies around dropping off supplies. And he is the weird one. He wears like the raper Nike shoes, like the knockoff, like the knockoff molestation shoes.
The fucking new offender 7s, dude.
Literally, he actually wears those. And like, he's a nice guy. I'm not hating on nice guys. Actually, a nice guy will go farther with me than someone who's just straight out.
Yeah.
And
The fuck does that mean? You're
I'll
taken.
entertain a nice guy. If you don't come,
You entertain him.
Hi, how you doing? How's your day? Your face. If some dude just comes straight out like, you trying to fuck? I'll be like, nah, I'm good. I got a fiance. But if you're like, if you seem like you could like be a friend,
So you tell me you got
Yeah.
options?
no.
Okay.
I'm just saying I'll entertain a nice guy before I entertain like the crude guy.
Yeah, that's why they always finish last though.
Anyways, so this guy would always wave at me, this material guy. He still does. Don't know why. And he was doing it for like months and months. Every time I seen him, which 5-6 times a day, he'd wave and I'm just ignoring it. I'm not there to make friends. You're being weird. Get the hint. I was walking to the bathroom a couple months ago and he was like, hey, how you doing? I just, eyes to the floor, just going to the bathroom. And he said, fuck me then. And that entire day, every time he tried to wave at me and I just ignored him, he was like, all right then, fucking bitch. Yes. What?
Yo, and like that's the thing though, like guys would never act that way in front of another man. We were watching Wife Swap last night, and the first episode, I told him I cooked them chicken tendies and that Chick-fil-A sauce, so we had the whole get up right, and we're laying in bed watching Wife Swap, eating the chicken nuggets, and the family was like, the one family was like a punk rocker family.
Tattoos.
Like tattoos. The dad had like a mohawk and no job, and that they allowed their kids to cuss. And the other family was like very traditional. They were like a baseball family and like
The
very
mom did all the cleaning, dad 9 to 5.
work coach, you know. And it was just so funny because like when they like the conservative wife went over to that punk rock house and like the dad's just like cussing at her, you know what I mean? He's just yelling at her. He's like, you don't know what you're talking about. Mohawks mean everything to me. I'm punk rock, okay? You're not gonna change my life.
But then the other dad on the other side, who was the conservative dad with the punk rock mom, had at one point had said, you know, I think she might be right. I'm going to try to do this.
Yeah, like he was like more like, okay, you know what? We're gonna go.
We
with
can
her
at least
rules.
try it.
You know what I mean? And at the end of the episode, like both families like meet up, and like the conservative mom says something about the punk rock family, and he just starts laying it where he's like, you don't talk. Who said that? You don't talk about my family like that. And the conservative dad just got so cold faced and was like, listen here, sir, you're not gonna yell at my wife like that again. You got that? And he was just shut his fucking mouth. And like that's what I foresee. Like that dude calling you a bitch wouldn't have said that shit if your dad or me was in front of him.
I have a lot of scary men in my life, though. Well, I wouldn't say scary, intimidating. I do. If my dad was in the room, like, my parents are amazing, but something that I have in common with my parents is, like, the energies absorb the room. They just do. It'd be, like, just powerful energies. They're just powerful personalities. Same with you, though. Like, I don't think people even try to be funny. That we walked past that one dude that I knew at Walmart, and I told you I knew him. And nothing.
Yeah, it was some dude that constantly hits on her, but like she told me after he had walked away, I'm like, well, that's great. Well, she would have just told me beforehand, you know what I mean? I would have said something to him. But her dad.
But you have a powerful personality too. Was my point. Like you don't look like someone anyone would try to get one over on.
I love your dad's story when he talks about like your first boyfriend and shutting the door on his face.
No, also, I don't think my dad told you this story, but my first legit boyfriend, I've only had a couple. I have fucked around with a lot of dudes, but to be my boyfriend is like an entire level that you have to reach. That's just it means I have to take you home to meet my parents, and I value my parents, so you gotta be extra special. But my first boyfriend did me dirty, and my parents knew all about it. And then we wound up going to this play in high school that my brother was in. And my ex-boyfriend was there with his new girlfriend. And at one point, my ex-boyfriend had like taken his jacket off, and he was he was a tool. And he had on this like wife beater, right? And he like kind of sat there, and he like knew like my whole family was sitting behind him, and he just kind of like flexed about it. And then my dad, who had on a flannel and then a dress shirt and then a wife beater underneath, got up and made this big show of like, and like took off his fucking button down and was like right in front of my ex-boyfriend. It's funny.
Her dad's a trip. He's a garbage man, so you know, you find your body in a fucking dumpster or something. I don't know.
My dad's like I'll be cleaning the shotgun
For
when you
sure.
bring over a boy type.
For sure. That's
He's
hard.
friendly though.
Yeah, he's very nice. He's a nice guy.
If he doesn't like you though, you'd know it.
I wouldn't say anything less.
That's right.
So
And I'm
like,
a daddy's girl, so.
one thing that I believe that I've always held is that women are way more mean to other women than men. I mean, is that the truth? I mean, I feel like women generally
It's the truth.
tear down more women than men.
Although I do feel like there's this new wave of like women supporting women in the past couple years that
Yeah.
I've really peeped on. I admire that.
Tell me about it. What do you mean?
I think women are naturally kind of catty. And I have a hard time making friends with women. But lately it's been a lot of like, oh, there's all sorts of different types of women. Women are allowed to be different. That doesn't make them better than you. It makes them just as good. Just on social media and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Women supporting women. No more like body shaming. I haven't like, not from a woman at least. I haven't seen lately in the last couple of years women being like,
You know, you brought up social media, and it's like to kind of like flip the topics a little bit. You guys ever seen that TikTok on the guy? It's like they stitch the guy and make fun of the guy, right? He's like a pretty alright looking guy. He wears like the dangly earrings, and he's like, you know what I'm talking about? It's like this. Okay, so like he like.
Is he like a famous TikToker?
Kind of, but he's only famous because of the stitches that people make on him, which are like them imitating how he talks. He's like,
I've seen a couple of those where someone will mumble and then they'll make like a stitch to
that's
it.
what his was, right? Is like he was mumbling like, "Hey girl, how you doing?" And like they just make fun of him, right? And so like I was sitting here thinking today about what we're going to talk about, and like the same way like girls can be toxic towards one another. There's often this talk about toxic masculinity, right?
You started talking about that last night.
Yeah, and like this like toxic masculinity, right? Like, I'm sorry, men are masculine, right? Just like women are feminine, and it's okay to be either or, right? It's okay to be a feminine man, and it's okay to be a masculine woman. But the masculinity, the weird TikTok toxic masculinity, it's fucking weird.
If you're on straight TikTok, you're not doing it right.
I mean, it is just
Agreed.
weird. It's weird, bro. It's like fucking.
I don't know. Like, yes, like I can't sit here and say like I support women supporting women or I support men supporting men. But like sometimes, okay, what about that new TikTok where they're faking getting arrested and then they like
That's
look
what
at the
I'm talking
camera
about.
and they're like, I love you.
That's what I'm talking
Okay,
about.
if you were gonna put that shit out for the entire world to see, you better get ready to get shat on.
That's what I'm talking about. That guy who's like, hey baby, I wanna. That guy that I'm talking about, bro. He is the definition of toxic masculinity, but he is not masculine, right? He's got like the dangly earring, the fitted cap. He's got barely any fucking facial hair, and he's like mumbling into the camera because he knows he's hot. You know what I mean? Like that, like that's toxic masculinity. Like.
I don't see it like that.
Really?
Just let him do him. I don't give a fuck.
I don't know, man. It's creepy as fuck, dude. It's cringy. Like when they're like getting arrested and they're like, I love you. Like, who? What is this?
I don't disagree with you. I just think when you get onto the topic of like social media, like you do anything on social media, get ready for some backlash, especially something like TikTok where it's meant to be viewed and judged.
Dude,
Because I'll put some shit up on TikTok that I have had a couple people say some mean things and I'm like, damn.
for one, you went viral on TikTok.
I did.
Let's not forget
Very
about
briefly.
that. Very briefly.
Very briefly.
But it was a moment in our lives, okay?
Yeah, it was very exciting to keep like refreshing the page and it would go up and up. It was cool. I'm trying to get back there, but I think I just hit one of those like weird like what are they called, like matrix waves, where it was like I just had the right video with the right sound with the right thing at the right time. Because ever since then I had, well, no, that's a lie. I went viral on 2.
Yeah, too.
Because I went viral and then like a month later I went viral on something else. But like since then I've only had like 200 views.
Well, TikTok will like shadow ban you too.
Yeah, and that's fucking weird.
Yeah, well, I only went viral once, and that's because I
Did you?
showed her ass.
You went viral?
Barely.
600 views?
No, I had like 20,000 views and like 1,000 likes.
Oh, you're talking about like, oh my god, it was one of your first TikTok
Yeah,
videos.
yeah.
That was before I even had TikTok.
Yeah.
No, and it wasn't just like booty shaking. It was like I was all the way bent over. Like you could almost see cooter.
He showed me that. He was very
Yeah.
proud of it.
Yeah, I show you off constantly, babe.
Well, before we switch subjects completely, I was going to ask, what's your dad like?
He's very protective, but he's very nerdy. My dad is really into IT.
Is he
But-
intimidating? Wait, Jason, do you think her dad's intimidating?
Never know.
How long have you guys been together?
Long enough.
Like 7 months.
When are you guys going to get introduced?
Well, my dad lives in like Maine, and now he
Oh.
lives in California, so he's like always moving around constantly.
Oh, that's what.
Yeah. I would say my dad is kind of intimidating. He just has that like resting dick face all the time, and the way he just carries himself.
He's smart and he knows it.
Yeah, he's very smart. He could win Jeopardy. I believe he could.
He should go on Jeopardy. That'd be pretty cool.
She was showing me on FaceTime where they were at in California, her dad's house, and I told her dad that I'd suck his dick to live there.
Did you tell him you'd be his little maid?
I told him, I said, dude, I'd suck your dick if you let me live there.
What'd your dad say?
I don't know.
Some stupid shit.
I think he was like, all right. I think he was like, yeah, run it.
He always makes very smart ass comments.
Does he? That's something I feel like within our culture is starting to dissipate a little, and I feel like kind of retro when I'm like, yeah, my parents' opinion matters, or like when a boy meets my parents, it's important. Do you feel the same way?
I mean, I value my parents' opinion, but at the end of the day, like, I'm gonna do what I want to do.
If you brought a boy home and your parents were like, I mean, we love you, do your thing, but we're not really a fan, would you be like, oh, or would you not even be fazed?
I mean, it would probably faze me a little bit, but I would probably still be with the dude, and then when that time came where if we broke up or whatever, I would be like, you guys were right.
I should have listened so long ago.
Why do you think that type of like family style, lifestyle, what would you even call that?
Traditional? Like, you're talking about like
I don't know.
bringing home a significant other to see
Getting
your family.
courted.
Yeah, that's traditional. Like that's traditionally how things were done for a very long time. But here's the thing. Here's my problem. All right, I understand what you two are saying, but like this is what would happen if I brought over a girl.
You're different though. You're a boy.
I know. This is what would happen though if I brought over a woman to meet my mom and dad.
She already has stories.
My mom would just be like, I love her.
She'd fake it.
She would fake it.
Although she didn't fake it with.
Kind of. She did for a moment. But my dad would just be like, yeah, great tits, son. You know what I mean? He wouldn't care. He would not care at all.
His dad was very friendly when I first met him, but I could tell that, like, not in a rude way, but I have felt more close to his dad the past handful of times that I've seen him than the first handful. His mom out the gate was very accepting, very warm. Not that his dad wasn't, but I notice now that, like, when his dad gives me a hug, he's hugging his daughter.
Right.
I really love that.
Yeah, and like I think when you met my dad, it was just like a weird time. You know what I mean?
The whole world was a weird
Like
time.
the whole world was like ending. We had like the west side of Toledo burning down, people like raiding Target, and like the coronavirus, and like my dad was just like, "Brrrr!" he was just like so mad about everything. And then like I was kind of nervous for you to meet my mom.
I was too, but that's only because I loved you.
Yeah, well, yeah, me too.
Because I knew you valued your mom, so I wanted your mom to value me.
I like really all it was the head tattoo, because like my mom's very conservative, and so like when I get a tattoo, she's like, really, a band on your hand?
That's what moms are supposed to do, though.
Yeah, so like I'm just like worried, like okay, like it's like I love your head tattoo, you know what I mean? I think you're fucking hot.
I think your other family has and is still a little weird with me about my aesthetic. For your viewers, I'm tattooed and pierced.
Yeah, which is I love that about you. You know what I mean? So like at the end of the day, I would have been like Jenna. You know, I'd have been like, yeah, no, I'm gonna stay with this person whether you like her fucking piercings and tattoos or not.
Your mom was never like that though. Your mom was all, like right out the gate. She's like, I love it.
Yeah, because I fucking looped her up with my neck tattoos of Satanism. You know what I mean?
Have you told Jenna that?
What?
What your mom did.
About what? Oh, she swears. See, I don't want to tell the story because she swears it did not. And here's the thing: I trust you just as much as I.
I was on the phone with his mom one day, and we were just talking. I don't even remember. We were just talking, and his mom, her name is Christy, was talking about how I think I had mentioned to her how Cameron is scared of demons. Like, scared. He's not scared of anything, but he has expressed to me that, like, his one thing is, like, demons.
Yeah.
And not ghosts, not spirits, but, like, specifically demons. So I'm on the phone with Christy one day, excuse me. And she's like, you know, he was scared of demons when he was real little, too. And I was like, what? And we're talking about it. And she made him burn an, what's it called? Epithet?
An effigy.
Effigy.
What is that?
Like a symbolistic thing. She drew a demon.
Symbolic thing.
Yeah, like a symbolic thing. They had this big thing, and his mom was telling me, I'm putting her on blast. But I already
that's the thing, though. She downplays it.
No, her mom, yeah. She, like, drew Satan on a piece of paper and had little Cammy come over and was like, here's Satan, but we're going to burn him. And Satan isn't around anymore because we burned him. And she said, like, when she was doing that, she, like, read out of the Bible and then, like, had the lights real low and, like, had, like, gospel music playing. Oh, my God. And, of course, I was, like, in my mind, like, you traumatized the poor boy. Like, no wonder he's scared of demons. She didn't do it with any bad intention or anything.
She downplays it. She's like, it wasn't like that, Cameron.
I just imagine like a, what's it called?
Just like brimstone and
Like
fire.
an exorcism happening. And little 4-year-old Cammy's just like burning Satan in the candle.
Satan's gonna kill me. But dude, like one of my earliest memories is opening up like a kid's Bible and seeing like a picture of Satan and just bawling my eyes out. It's like one of my earliest memories.
And his mom is so sweet. Both of our moms are. Just imagine this like little bitty thing with like blonde hair, and she's so sweet and kind. So I can just imagine like just a friggin' exorcism going on. She's like, burn the Satan candy, burn them.
And that's the thing, like if my mom wants to downplay it, that's fine. But how she raised me probably created me that way. So like she made me go to like church probably. Like I know she made me go to church as a kid, right? So I'm just sitting in church and the pastor's like, you're gonna go to hell if you're bad. And then I find out that Satan's this bad guy, and I'm just like, Satan, he's gonna get me.
So it's watching you.
So when she told me this, I was just completely like,
I told him I got off the phone with Christy, and that night I was like, Cameron, I know why you're afraid of demons. And he actually kind of had like a brain bump.
I was like, that makes sense.
Yeah, he was actually a little fucked up about that for a couple days.
Yeah,
He would never say it out loud, but I think he had a hard time processing that for a minute.
For sure, dude, because like, you know, it's part of my worldview of like good and evil, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, it came crashing down, just my mother just playing gospel music and trying to be the best parent she can be, and I'm just like, oh no, for like the rest of my life.
I have family like that, but I wasn't raised like that. Not real religious.
Were you raised religious?
When I lived in Nebraska, me, my mom...
Wait, you lived in Nebraska?
Yeah,
That's
for
so
like
cool.
2 years. It was when my parents were still together, and before they got a house, we were staying with my Nana and Papa. So it was like me, my mom, dad, brother, we would like live in the downstairs part of their house or whatever. And my Nana and Papa were super religious, so like church on Sundays, then we go back home, and then we eat Sunday brunch, and then before every single meal, we all go around the table, hold hands, pray, say grace, whatever. But after that, my parents really didn't like force anything on me. My mom's Catholic, my dad's Christian, but...
That's conflicting.
Yeah.
Were they conflicted about that within their marriage, you think?
No. They would never go like to church if my grandparents weren't there. So... I wasn't really religious, but...
I'm surprised hearing that about... You said your mom was Catholic? Mm-hmm. Most Catholics I know are more religious than Christians. Mm-hmm. Well, more textbook religious, I should say.
Yeah.
And I'm not meaning spiritual. I mean, like, you know, you're going to hell if you sin type religion.
I don't know. I don't think if I ever... Because I don't want to foist my viewpoints upon them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to, like...
I want them to be educated. I want them... to know that there's different options, and if they come and ask me about Catholicism, then I want to explain that to them. If they want to ask me about Christianity or being Muslim, anything, like I would love to explain that to them and what that consists of and let them make their own choices.
Yeah.
Even if they're younger, if they want to go to Catholic church or they want to go Christian church or they want to go to a Buddhist temple, I would love to take them.
Yeah.
I went and see my mom without you. It was like, I just went and see my mom, hung out with them, and my mom was like, my mom's very Christian. She is,
but she's also very accepting.
Yeah, she is. Because she's like, when people say like, oh, I'm a good Christian, like, my mom's a good Christian.
She's a good Christian.
Yeah. Like, I think people just throw that term around loosely. Mm-hmm. My mom really is. And my mom, they were sitting at the table, and she was like, I want to ask you. She was like, why don't you believe in Jesus? And I was like, no, I don't.
You're quick to argue, though.
I am.
And
I'm like,
sadly, with religion, though, debating about religion, sadly, comes off very offensive.
Yes. And that's the thing. For me, it's so nonchalant that I don't care about it. Mm-hmm. That, like, I'm like, Mom, I don't think you want to have this conversation. She's like, but I do, baby. It's about your soul. And I'm like, I think it's all made up. And she's just like, but it's not. And I'm like, no, it is. I'll tell you why.
You do have a very solid, like, spiritual life that you live.
I think me and you both do.
I agree. I wouldn't shut your mom down about this, and I told you that privately when you came home and told me about it. Like, your mom came from a good place with that.
She for sure did.
And you probably came off a little argumentative.
Yeah, I know, I definitely did. I don't know. I think spirituality is something that not many people have in their lives and like use it correctly. Like, dude, I find spirituality in like being outside, doing things that are new and fun and exciting, meditating in my backyard. So, one of the things that I have on here,
You made notes?
I made notes. One of them was creepy men, so we already covered that.
Most men are creepy or have been creepy or do sometimes creepy things.
Yes.
I've done creepy, yeah. I've
Like
been there.
women will think about doing creepy things, but then usually don't do it. They don't. It's true.
What's the creepiest thing you guys think you've ever done?
I went crazy for the D.
What do you mean?
I had one person who, like, I was like Olivia. Unintentionally, but those were my emotions.
Okay.
What about you?
I wouldn't say I was like creepy. I was very crazy. The
I
ex
feel like
that I
there's
talked
a
about.
fine line, though.
Well, the ex I talked about earlier, was in the military. He came back home and bought this brand new car or whatever and posted about it on Facebook. And I was really pissed off because this motherfucker cheated on me. So, me and my friends,
You had the license plate.
it was like 4 of us, right? We were out one night. It was when Toledo had the Christmas weed.
Listen, don't say anything that'll incriminate you.
Well, it's fine. Because I paid it off. I paid my debts. It's fine.
I want to
You
hear.
got charged?
Hold on.
No. His dad's a cop.
What'd you do?
I put my knife into
Me and my
his car.
friends egged his car and did some pretty bad damage.
Like busted the windshield?
No, we just
Maybe
chipped some
he'll
paint and like
think
cracked some
next time
paint.
before he cheats.
So him and his dad pulled up to my house. And
Oh, they knew it was you.
Yeah. Cop dad was like, "Why'd you do this? Blah blah blah." And then I just wrote him a check.
You were
and
like, because your
that was
son's
it.
a fucking
I would have
cheating
denied it.
piece of shit.
The fuck? Show me some film that identifies me clearly. I would have gone to trial.
What, so you threw eggs at the car. What else did you do? Did you slash the
Baseball bat?
tires?
No, that was it.
How'd you chip paint?
Listen, I don't think I did it. I think it was the friends that whipped it really
Girl, what else
hard.
did
An-
you
an
expect though when you got
accomplice?
like 3 of your homegirls and you're like, he cheated? And you're like, yeah.
Yep.
Listen, I think if you want to create any type of
If Cameron
revolution,
cheats on me, I'm calling you.
Yeah, you're gonna get fucked up, dude.
Yeah.
I think like in history, like the French Revolution didn't happen until the women were on board. Like if you want to make men do something, make the women tell the men to do something, and they'll be like,
Okay, that didn't work out very well when women wanted voting rights. What I mean, women were like screaming for equal rights for like hundreds of years.
yeah, but here's the thing: you don't think that wouldn't have happened without men being on board?
No, it wouldn't have happened. That's why women were fighting for it.
I know, but that's because the powerful men in power are like, yeah, we probably should listen to our wives.
That is because the richest men on earth who have earned their own worth are men. The richest people are men. It's politics, dude.
Yeah, no, I think I don't know. I'm to the point now in 2021 where I think men and women and all races are all poor and broke, and all cast astray. Like no one's winning. Like you can say like, oh, people are rich and successful, sure, but no one. You can make more than low income nowadays and still be poor. Like we all work jobs where we're very privileged to work the jobs that we work, and we're still all poor.
I think everything's an illusion.
Facts.
No, really, I do. Like, and I'm not talking no scary stuff or nothing like that. I mean, like, women have fought for equal rights. Black people have fought for equal rights for hundreds of years, and now we have it, and it's just a facade to cover up the bigger problems. So now us as typical, quote unquote, typical citizens are so busy with bills and all this other stupid nitnoid shit that we don't talk about why the richest people on the planet are men. Because why does it matter? We have voting rights. Why does it matter? What's his name? Turner went to prison for raping that girl, so why does it matter? Because everything that's right in front of our faces is the only shit we're seeing.
Yeah, it's the vast majority, like, I seen a chart with Jeff Bezos' wealth and, like, other billionaires, and, like, even if you make $2 billion comparatively to the richest man in the world is nothing. Like, $2 billion to $198 billion is on the low spectrum. That's how much wealth Jeff Bezos has. Like, if you make $45K a year on the chart, like, you're, like, down really at the bottom. But if you make $2 billion, you're still at the bottom. Mm-hmm. Which $2 billion is a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, I would do just about anything for $2 billion.
Isn't...
Wait, I have a question for you. So Cam and I were talking a couple weeks ago about how much you would have to get paid to suck someone's dick. I said $3,000. I mean, I would go a lot less than that. But if a random ass man came up to
You're lowballing it.
I don't think $3,000's a low ball.
For some random dude's dick, I think it is a little low.
If I was doing something, if I was a sex worker and someone was like, here's 3 stacks.
Yeah, and that's probably real quick and easy too.
Yes, that's what I mean. Like, get it over with. Dissociate a little, whatever.
Just stare at the wall.
I wouldn't do it for $500.
No.
What's the lowest you would go?
Probably like $1,500.
Same.
Yo, so me and
I
Jason...
debated on $1,000.
I'll never forget.
I would do $1,000 if it was someone I knew. Now, I'm not saying friend, just someone I know of.
Yeah.
It would have to be $1,500 for a stranger, though.
You said $3,000. I ain't going all the way down to $1,500?
No, that wasn't my lowest.
Oh, Jesus. I'll never forget. It was all of us boys working. It was all of us boys. And it was like the end of the night, and there was this gentleman in the back who was kind of nerdy, and there was like 6 of us, or like 4 or 5 of us, who like went in the back and started berating this guy in the back, shooting the shit. I don't know, like a year ago.
At work?
Yeah, at work. And he worked with us, and so I propositioned the question. I was like, how much would it take for you guys to suck a dick? You know? And it was just like I got an immediate answer to my question, and one of the guys with us was just like, $1,000. And I was just like, I looked at him like, $1,000?
Baby, think about it. You know how many groceries we could get with $1,000?
I know. He was like, listen, he's like, $1,000. And I was like, dude, I have $1,000 in my checking account right now, dude. And he's like, yeah, $1,000. And I was just so mind blown, because, like, I mean, don't get me wrong,
He had
bro.
been thinking about it to come up with the answer that quick.
For a right amount of money, I'd probably do it. But $1,000? You know what I mean? Like 1,000? That makes me think that he's probably done it before. You
Yeah,
know?
for $1,000, he probably has.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like really?
I honor sex workers. You were listening to a podcast last night. I was eavesdropping on it, and it was this lady talking about sex workers, and she had made the good point of, I am pro sex workers, but I am anti this new wave of sex workers. Sex work is not supposed to be for every, Sally on the block.
OnlyFans has created this market.
I agree.
Like if you're like a true feminist, right? Like if you're a true feminist and like, okay, sex work is great, but like you're literally selling yourself for $10. I think women are worth more than $10.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like, it's good that you have the platform, right? But like this new wave of sex work, I don't think is beneficial to women.
I think it just devalues sex work, in my opinion. Like, in my opinion, I think sex work is very hard. I've done some myself. I think it gets misconstrued that it's just all fun, and it's really not. And most people that you know that are sex workers and they're very serious about it, they spend a lot of time working, and they put a lot of thought into their jobs. And this is sex work across the board. I think it pulls away. I really do. I think a lot of these women who have been in sex work, or they do more traditional forms of sex work really hard to be conned out of Sally next door, who just turned 17 and got an OnlyFans. I think I don't know. It's just weird to me.
What kind of sex work did you do? I know, but like,
Camming.
You were a cam girl?
I was camming for a while. And actually, I did pretty well.
Well, like that's the thing, right?
But that was a 9-hour day. I was sore afterwards. Like, it's all haha funny, but like then there was business behind it. There was constantly business behind it. Writing up. I mean, you look at some of these like cam websites. I mean, they'll have raffles. You know how much money I got off of raffles? That's a lot. You know? I don't know. The way I'm saying it sounds like it's just like one of those like off the shoulder things, but I feel like anyone is able to just like, yeah, I'll sell a pussy pic for $10, and it pulls away from the people that are grinding and doing this, who are in the club every day trying to pay their bills and go to school. And
that's the thing too, is like not all content is good content.
I agree.
Like anyone with an iPhone can create TikToks.
But then who are we to sit here and say that they can't post content? That some people can and some people can't. How you do it? Like,
that's what I'm saying though, is like now you have an iPhone, you can post whatever you want to OnlyFans and charge people for it, and $10 is very $10 to $20 is a very accessible rate.
Yeah.
And then morally, like, you're doing these things for that amount of money.
honestly, the only thing I think about OnlyFans, and this is what I've been told in my experiences, I'm not on OnlyFans, but from what I've heard of people who are, is the only good thing for OnlyFans is people seeing you that already know you. It's not good for building customers. It's good for if I had an OnlyFans for some high school dude that I used to know to finally see my pussy.
That guy who followed you around.
Yes.
And
Yeah, who
went to
faked
the
a bee
hospital
sting
too.
could like finally see my tits. No, really, I have never heard of. I've heard of people who get an OnlyFans and do really well, but that's only because they have already been famous in some extent before having an OnlyFans. I don't feel like that really counts. I haven't heard of people in my personal life having an OnlyFans who gain customers, keep customers, and like make an entire living off OnlyFans that weren't famous before it and don't do other things.
It's like, I don't know, I think the really cool part about the day and age we live in is that if we can get some recognition for doing some things on the internet, that we can make money off of it, right? Like,
Isn't that what you're doing right now?
yeah, but I'm not trying to, right? Like, I'm really not trying to make money off of it. But yes, I could eventually one day make money off of this, or this could be a viable option. But like, that's the cool part about the day and age we live in, is that you know,
The day and age we live in, sorry to cut you off, is instant gratification, and most of our social media platforms are built around that concept.
I agree. But
And that's
like,
the same with OnlyFans.
But like, if you're not gonna make some money out of this, then like, what the fuck? Because like, there's kids making fucking slime balls right now, making millions of dollars. There's some guy drop shipping some shit from Amazon, sitting on his ass, making some money off of me and you. Like, we're buying items off of Amazon, and that guy's accumulating that money but he never made that product or that business. So like, YouTube content creators, whatever the case may be, like, this is the day and age we live in.
I
We
mean,
don't-
talk about YouTube content creators. Do you follow YouTube at all?
No.
Okay, I have. Not lately, but I am a YouTube baby.
Me too.
You look at some of the YouTube OGs, Shane Dawson, Jenna
I used to watch
Marbles.
him all the time.
I love Shane Dawson. I am conflicted with the new drama with it, but I'm not going to comment about it. But they worked their fucking asses off. It's the same thing with sex work. You look at these like 5 major YouTube OGs, they busted their ass for years before they started making big money off of it. And they've been around forever. They've been around since the launch of YouTube. And now, any fucking kid can pick up a camcorder and become famous and make even more than them. It's just like this like, new, I don't know, culture that's like hard to put your words around. But I feel the same way about OnlyFans.
So like, this is the truth nowadays. When me and you came up in YouTube, like, those were right, those people had to work for it. And here's the thing, the market's so large right now for like YouTube and just online work in general, and just like everyone of their mom, someone you know owns a Cricut right now. Like, someone you know has a pop-up shirt press, where like check out my new designs, right? Or they're the guy like me who has a podcast, or they're the YouTube content. Someone you know does what we're talking about, right? Has an OnlyFans, right? So the problem is like to get into the market now you got to be a part of like a niche market, right? Like podcasts that are successful nowadays, like Call Her Daddy, right? Or like the Joe Rogans of the world. Like you're not going to be able to do a Joe Rogan podcast. You're not going to be able to do, hey, I want to just talk to my friends. You're going to have to be like, this is the Creepypasta podcast. And
Hey, don't hate on creepypasta.
I'm just saying, like you have to be in a niche market nowadays to get exposure.
Yes and no, but maybe it all works off the same algorithm like what we talked about with TikTok, because you have had some podcasts that have done very well, and you're sitting there wondering what was different about that podcast. And I've had the same thought processes with TikTok. What did I do with the TikTok that went viral that I'm not doing with my TikToks now? But that's the same with any of these markets, because t-shirts have been around forever, but people keep getting the crickets because everyone needs a new t-shirt.
Well, like, to hear something, you see how quiet she is? She'll never tell you that she has fucking amazing TikTok content that she does not post.
You?
Just dude, you gotta show her after the podcast, because
Yeah, I
like
wanna
it's some good fucking shit, and she don't post it. And so it's just like, how many people like the
Are
reason
really
I wanted
good at something and we just don't know about it.
yeah, like that's why I wanted to do this, because I wanted to do something that would like make it would be fun and that I could just enjoy doing, right? Like that was the whole idea of this. It wasn't about money or anything like that. So like how many Jennas of the world are sitting there with just like content and things that they can actually attribute to society and how we're living now that doesn't.
That doesn't just post a quick nude and get $10 for it.
And like, well, that's the thing too. Is like I think these girls should be rewarded more. Like,
Well, then that just goes back to then how do you pick? How like let's say you can pick. How can you sit there and go, this group of girls can post on OnlyFans and this group can't? This group of people can post on TikTok and this group can't. The problem is now like this instant gratification thing, they have to be weeded out. If you started posting on TikTok, it's you and how many other people, you know,
I have
on
no
TikTok
idea.
until you get noticed.
well,
I'm gonna look it up.
I don't know. I also think too, because of like the lives that we live in and it being in this age that we live in, that everyone wants to be famous. Like everyone wants notoriety or fame. Like not even
1 billion users. It
Jesus. That's 1/7 of
they
the
would have
world's
to
population.
find you in 1 billion users to go, that girl has talent.
So just so we're on the subject of social media and TikTok. I got on TikTok in its earliest stages, and I didn't like it. Right? Here's the thing. I kept using it, and I never knew why. Well, I found out why. Because in my brain, the creators of the app have made it to where it's better than Instagram. Like literally, you know how like you swipe down to go up? Something with that clicks in my fucking Neanderthal brain that tells me, keep watching because you're going to find something you like. And they did it on purpose. And the videos are shorter, so you're sitting there and you're only watching stuff that you like because of the algorithm, and it's addicting to sit there and just fucking sweat. How many times have just me and you sat there on TikTok and just for like 30 minutes of our life had just evaporated into nothing?
That's the fucked up thing, and I've personally been having a hard time with it lately. It's like all these things that are becoming like popular in our culture, they're based around this criteria of like instant gratification, or you hear about studies being done where it's inducing the same parts of our brain that create euphoria. But then if you look at the science of these long term, they're really bad for us. They're really bad for us. And then to be doing these same things and having that moment of instant gratification and the dopamine rush and all this other stuff, really in the long run, like, doing it is a different mindset now if you know what the end cause is.
You ever see those people's faces when they don't realize when they come to our treatment centers that they have to give up their phone?
Yes. Oh my God.
Dude,
God forbid you go 7 days without your phone.
Dude, it just induces
But like,
panic.
I feel like I can't really say that because how would I act
Correct.
7 days without my
Correct.
phone?
And that's weird that we're only 20 years into it being popular to have, not even 15 years of it being popular to have a phone on you at all times. And this is where we're already at after 15 years.
My best friend
Whoa.
Kirsten was over, and we were looking at the screen time app, and when you go to it, you can look and see how many times you've picked up your phone
Can you?
already today. So you go to screen time,
Where, in settings?
Yep.
Oh no.
And this newer generation is wondering, like, why do we have anxiety? Why can't we sleep at night? Why is my self-confidence so low? And you're constantly comparing. Not just that, but like there's been science behind having this physical device next to you at all times, most of the time touching your skin. That, and there's been science behind what the light does to you and how it like physiologically affects your body. How do
I've
you
picked
get
up
to
my
it?
phone
Settings?
45
How do you see-
or 54 times today.
So you want to
Screen time.
see all activity?
Yep.
Guess what's my most used? TikTok. But here's a good part of me. Right below that is chess. So that's pretty good. Like, you know what I mean? Like at least I'm doing something at least productive. Like chess is pretty productive.
I've
That's
picked up
Jason's
my phone
most used.
26 times today.
Ooh, not bad.
Oh fuck. Today is Sunday. So you said, what was yours?
My pickups?
Yeah.
26.
What was yours?
54.
47.
I was at the laundromat for like 2 hours. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah. I would like to see what that's like on a work week for me. You know what I mean? I want to see how much
Yeah, because we use our phone for literally everything.
So, like-
Honestly, I think mine's kind of high because it's the weekend. I'm really ask him. Like, I have my phone usually doing something, but it's music, an audiobook, a movie. But if I'm sitting on my phone, it's usually playing some stupid puzzle game.
Dude, she's on like level 583 or some bullshit. She's like, babe, I just beat the 620th level.
It sounds like my mom on Candy Crush. She's on like level 3000.
No, I played Candy Crush my entire life up until a few years ago, and I got stuck on some crazy level like that. It was like 600 something, and I was stuck on it for like 6 months. So I put it down, and then finally I was feeling like a puzzle again. So I downloaded this new game, and Candy Crush, and it picked up on the level I left off on. Tried it for like a day, and I came home and even looked at Cam, and I was like, I'm just so fucking pissed off by this fucking game. I just uninstalled it. It's like I can't do it.
It's
Rest in peace, Candy Crush.
yeah, dude, fucking I'm addicted to chess. I will admit that. I'm addicted to chess. It's fucking bad. Like, I think about chess, I think about the move sets, I think about the move orders, I think about openings, I think about end games.
I don't think that's bad though.
I watch people play and I'm like, he should have done this. I'm like, how can I get that good? Yeah, no, like it gets to the point too, like where like I started playing tournaments on chess on this app, and you can play with like grandmasters and shit, and you don't get nothing out of it. You just get like a higher ranking or like a little emblem by your name that says you won the tournament. And it's like there's like no real reason for me to do this or enjoy it, right? But like she'll be like, babe, can you get the neck massager? And I'm like, I'm playing a tournament right now. I cannot get it. I only have 3 minutes.
It was 2 feet from him.
Yeah, it's like 2 feet from me. I can't
I mean,
do it.
I'd rather that than Candy Crush.
Well, like that's another thing too. Is like
I'm usually pretty good about reminding myself to like, okay, damn, you need to get off your phone.
how much fun was kayaking?
I had a blast.
I know.
Have you been kayaking before?
I really want to go.
Oh my gosh, we should go together.
I'm down.
We got him in the water. He fell within 2 minutes.
Oh my god,
We
when
weren't
you
e-
told me like the bottom of it was just like the back half was just slowly sinking.
No, well, we got in. He gets in the kayak and he's like, then he falls before I'm even in mine. So then the guy leaves. The guy was helping me get in mine, whatever. We go like 100 yards out, but it's like it's not like on a beach. It's like, it goes it's a boat dock, so it goes immediately past the no wake zone. It goes straight normal lake level, and then we're kind of around the corner, so it's a big pain in the ass, and he falls again, and it's just really funny because he's pissed off about it, and he's like, my fucking sandals, get my sandals. And then he ruined his vape, and then so we dragged it back to the shore, and then we tried again.
So
And he
like,
gets it.
hold on. So like, this was all a surprise to me. It was a great surprise, right? I had no idea what we were doing. She just told me, hey, we're going up here. Here, follow this. We're going there.
I didn't realize kayaking was that hard.
She's like, bring some swim trunks. I'm like, okay. I brought my most favorite hat on, you know. I brought my most favorite hat I have on. And then I was like, okay. And then we get there. And we're late too. Like we're late.
We were lost.
We were lost. So like we get there, the guy's like rushing and like setting us up our kayaks, and I'm just like, I know I have my vape in my pocket. I'm like, I can't go back to the car because he's late and we're rushing. I'm like, fuck it, I'll be fine. I'm just keeping my vape in my pocket. I'll be okay. And I got my hat on, and I'm just like, I like hats, so like I would take my hat off, you know what I mean? But I didn't because of anxiety and because of the stress of wanting to be late. So I was like, fuck it, all right, here we go. And like he pushes me into the boat dock, and I get like 2 feet from where he pushed me. And I was like, and just dip in the water. And I'm like, fuck. Fine, I'm not all the way wet. So I crawl back up.
We try it again.
We tried again.
We get out there. He falls again.
I fall again, and I'm feeling like Birkenstocks fall apart.
They're not real Birkenstocks.
No,
Don't be fooled.
they're not. They're fucking.
I know, but real
Fugazi.
Birkenstocks are expensive.
Right, but like whatever. They touch the water and they just start falling apart, and I'm freaking out, man.
He's trying to like wade water, but he can't because he's got his flip flops on and jeans and fucking. He's got a life jacket on, but it's not buckled, so it's like making him like fucked up.
And I'm like, I can't lose these fake Fugazi Birkenstocks, and I can feel them falling off. And then I'm like, oh my god, my fucking vape's in my pocket. And dude, my vape is the most important thing to me. Fuck his phone. Fuck a phone.
Our phones are waterproof.
I sleep with this. This is in my hand. I'll have a full hand of groceries, car keys, and a phone. Or car keys and phone are in my pocket. You know what's not? My vape. My vape is in my hand at all times. That's why I drop it so often. Because while I'm doing other tasks with my hand, the vape is a part of my hand.
You should see him at work when he loses his vape.
No,
Where's
I
my
got
vape?
some stories
Do you
for
have my
you,
fucking
girl.
vape? Are you hiding it? Don't fucking play with me right now.
So wait, he fell. Then we got back out. Then he fell again. Then we get back out, and I'm just like doing circles around him. I grew up kayaking. I guess I just didn't realize it was one of those like acquired skills.
I went kayaking one time before.
It didn't count. It was a
this.
double though, so that means someone else was helping him.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're out there, and I'm just like, babe, I'm gonna go fast for a minute, okay? And he's like, okay, but come back. And I'm like, I will. And so I'm like, dude, shipping. I'm like, whoo, whoo. I'm like, baby, it's a workout. And he's like, I wouldn't know. And
I'm just trying to stay afloat, dude. I'm just like,
he's jolting back and forth. So I have my back to him, and he's yelling at me. He's like, baby, it's filling with water. I'm like, no, it's not. Just chill out. Just chill out. This is how you find your balance, right? He's like, I'm going down. I'm sinking. No, you're not. I'm looking at him like, you're fine. And then, like 30 seconds later, he's like, babe, I'm gonna fall in. And I look at him. He is like straight Titanic, straight up in the air. His whole boat's going down.
and I'm just like watching, like as I'm trying to tell, like, bro, I'm gonna fall in. Like it's gonna go down. I'm just.
He's like freaking out. There's water coming in the boat. I'm like, no, there's not.
In between my legs, I'm just watching the water rise slowly. In between my legs, I'm just like. And I'm like trying to like, and like as it's with the water, the more unsteady the boat's getting. And I'm just like, oh no, here we fucking go. You know what I mean? And then I'm telling him, like, I'm gonna fall in. And then like a wave, a very small, tiny wave.
Ripple from a
Just
freaking, a fish.
Just tiny,
Takes
you know?
him out cold, bro.
Like
the wave hit him and he went flying.
Like my breath just hit the water. I was like, and I just literally went, whoop, and I went, like the front end of my back was in the water, and the front end of the boat was just sticking up. And I'm like, I'm falling in! I'm going! And she was just laughing. That was the worst part about falling in.
I was laughing.
Is she was just laughing at me.
He was so upset. He was like, I'm sorry. I wish I was better. And I was like, I had a great time. Well, I grew up, in the town that I grew up, there's a hidden gem called Rock Cut State Park. I don't know why the people that I used to know back home don't go there. I have one of those hometowns where people are like, I hate my hometown. I can't wait to leave. But then no one ever leaves. Rock Cut's amazing.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, Rock Cut's amazing. Worked there for a few years. I spent a lot of my childhood there. And it's got a big lake, so there's kayaks and canoes and stuff. And I don't know. And I've told people that story too, and they're like, kayaking is so hard. I'm like, what?
No, it's not hard. Honestly, if the fucking boat didn't fucking fill with water, I think I'd be okay.
You needed a bigger kayak.
Yeah, no, I'm just fat. I don't need a bigger kayak, I'm just fat. So that water was just creeping in the back end, dude.
You're the adventurous one, so I thought for sure like you'd do good at something like that. We have to go ziplining sometime.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, then my zip line breaks off.
I'm falling. No, you're not.
Yeah, fuck that, dude. If I can't manage on a kayak, how am I going to manage on a zip line, dude?
Very fun. I love doing stuff like that.
I want to see Jason go kayaking, dude.
He'd probably do good.
He'd probably just sit there and float.
I feel like I'm chilling.
Yeah, no, it was really pretty for 5 minutes. I got of peace. I was like, this is really nice, dude.
Are you athletic? Do you like doing like outdoorsy stuff?
Ever since I was little, me and my family went tent camping every year down at Indian Lake. It's like an hour and 45 minutes down south of here. And
I like that you specified that it was tent camping.
Yeah, tent camping. And then after a couple years of doing that, my mom got a camper. So we would go traveling and go camping and stuff in the camper.
I don't feel like camping's what it used to be.
No.
Because him and I have started going tent camping this past summer. And like, we're cool because we have a really unique type of tent. But like, we're weird for being like the people in the tents.
Yeah, people don't go tent camping anymore. People always have a camper.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
We pass some campers that are like, okay, live your good life. But like, damn, you really need 2 balconies on that RV?
Right.
They had 2 balconies. They didn't just have like a screen projector. They had a flat screen.
Yeah, it's not even camping. They got like flat screens in their RVs. They got like manicured fucking beds.
I
and
love an RV,
canoes.
but like I would just want the bare minimum because I would be outside. I don't know.
It was creepy too when we went camping.
I've actually loved camping more than I thought I would, and I think I've been enjoying it more than you too.
No, I've been enjoying it. However, after our escapade last weekend, it was just so hot.
We were dying.
Yeah, but it was really creepy. So the person who was like behind us, like, was just this weird old man. He pulled up in like a white van. and
I mean, he was living his best life.
yeah,
We corrected each other's behavior with that one, but he was a little weird.
Yeah,
He was like down in the brewskis and like chain smoking and just like watching us.
Yeah, it was just. Yeah, he was pulled up in a white van. You know what I mean?
And then this girl wound up coming later when it was dark out, and I swear to God they were having sex.
And then I plowed my girlfriend to assert dominance.
You did not
Nice.
plow.
I definitely plowed.
It was like a shovel, not quite a plow. You know what kind of tent we have, right?
Isn't it like a truck bed
Yeah.
thing? Yeah.
Those things are cool. You should get a. Do you have a tent? We should go camping.
I do have a tent. My dad gave me his old one. It's like an 8-person tent. It's huge.
We should all go camping. We should all go camping.
Jason, you want to go camping sometime? Can we do it for real? No, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Jason would be the man in the fire with a poke stick.
Yeah, because God knows Cam can't light a damn fire.
Oh, don't you start. Listen, when she starts doing something, I just gotta get out of her way. So I'll piss her off more by trying to
I'm
help.
dominant.
Yeah, I'll piss. So
How do you build your fire?
How do I build my fire? I don't. She does
Lighter
it for
fluid.
me. Yeah,
That's how he
lighter
builds his
fluid.
fire.
Duh. Work smarter, not harder, dude.
I grew up with like 2 wood-burning fireplaces, and we've talked about my dad. So my dad, I actually grew up with 4 brothers. How do I explain this? Okay, life story time. My parents really love their gender roles, as do Cam and I. So I was very often with my mom inside cleaning, cooking. I was with my mom learning how to do those types of things, inadvertently learning. And the boys would usually be with my dad, chopping firewood, stacking firewood, doing whatever the fuck. But my dad would make it a point to pull me aside and go, do you know how to do this? He wouldn't usually make me do it, but one time he changed a tire and he fucking yelled at me to come downstairs, and I just had to sit and watch. He's like, I don't even care if you know how to do it. I just don't want, he didn't want me to ever say my dad never taught me.
Yeah.
My dad taught me how to like drive a stick. So my parents are obsessed with their fireplaces. I used to have to stack cords of wood. Fucking slave labor.
Do you guys think that your parents treated you differently because you guys were girls?
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm firstborn, so.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot of expectations.
Yeah.
How do you
There's
think-
definitely different standards for me and my little brother.
What were those standards like? Yeah, like what they put on you that they didn't put on your brother?
Like, I was a straight A student all throughout school. I still get pretty good grades, blah, blah, blah. But, like, if I got a B or an A minus, it was like, why didn't you get an A? why didn't you get an A plus? But my brother gets a D or a C, like bare minimum passing grade. Good job, you didn't fail. So
I was kind of the opposite because I am the baby. My 2 younger brothers are my stepbrothers, and I did grow up with them, but they lived at home with their mom, so it was part-time. But they went down hard like that on my oldest brother, and it backfired. So with me, it was more like, as long as you're being respectful, as long as we don't have to ask you a million times. But as far as like being treated because of my gender differently, probably like what I said. Like I was more doing the woman type things. Like as far as contributing to the household.
So I used to have this one friend, right? And he was the complete opposite of me. He was actually my best friend. However, we got into a fist fight in 8th grade. He called my girlfriend a whore. This is a funny story. So I had like 3 good friends growing up, and we all used to hang out with each other from like 2nd grade to like 8th grade. Doug and Jake are their names. Shout out to you guys. I don't want to tell too much of the story, but let's just basically say this. Doug had a girlfriend, 7th grade. I was highly attracted to his girlfriend. And Doug came out as not liking women. Okay? So he didn't like women. I won't get into the whole specifics of that. By the way, Doug, if you're listening, I don't doubt you are, but I'm pretty sure he has a wife and kids now. So let's just move past this. Anyways, him and the girl break up. 8th grade year. Freshman year. I go to high school with this girl. I get passed a note from her best friend that says, "Hey, my friend thinks you're cute. Would you date her? Yes or no?" I look up. It's Doug's ex-girlfriend. I'm like, yeah. So we start dating, nonetheless. Anyways, I stopped hanging out with Jake and Doug a lot. Jake, I hit my peak in 8th grade. You know what I mean? Like I was having the time of my life. Jake kind of didn't know where he fit in life a little bit, and I was like a very social person. I was hanging out with the kids who were like smoking weed and partying, and I was doing all that crazy stuff, and Jake wasn't. And so Jake, was kind of like a closeted friend. I'd hang out with him, but I had other people to see as well, and he didn't come to the places that I wanted to go to. And I don't forget how the argument lasted, but I remember him being like, "Your girlfriend's a fucking whore," or something to that extent. And I punched him dead in his mouth, and then I left his house. And I forgot why I'm telling the story, because I'm never telling the story.
Being raised differently?
Oh, so my fucking parents would always compare me to Jake. They would always be like, "Why can't you be more like Jake?" Because Jake would get straight A's. And I'm like, Jake hasn't touched pussy and he's 17. Jake hasn't kissed a girl, you know? Jake hasn't went to a party, you know? Like I know those are like pretty low standards, but like they were like, "Why can't you just get straight A's?" I'm like, I don't know, because I want to have some fun in my life. I don't want to fucking, you know what I mean? And so like that's what my parents used to pay for this kid's fucking cell phone.
Yeah, you sound resentful about it.
I am a little bit. I mean, like, it is whatever, but like they would always compare me to him, like, "Why can't you get the straight A's?" Because I'm stupider than him. I don't know why. Okay? If I
never got straight A's.
Yeah.
Not to say that I'm not smart. I'm very smart, but I'm not book smart. I can't apply myself in a school setting. It's not my thing.
Yeah.
I was like a B and A. I could get B's more than A. I would get B's more than anything. And then like history, I would get A.
I was a B, C, sometimes D, sometimes A.
If it was math or science, if it was a particularly difficult science subject,
I have to pee.
You have to pee?
Yes.
I'll go pee.
Okay.
Come right back. Yeah.
But you don't want to take it.
Well, no, usually I have to take a break because when it's just me and another person, I gotta go out and break because I can't talk to nobody, you know what I mean? But we got 3 people here, and Jason. We got 3 plus 1, so that's 4. But no, I wasn't resentful, but like, it was just like, really? You're gonna compare me to one of my good friends?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why I can't be more like him.
I feel like I would be a little bit pissed off too, because like that's not even a sibling or like anyone in the family. It's just like your friend that you hang out with and bring over to the house and stuff.
Yeah, that's like he was like my best friend.
Like, that's not even your own kid, and you want me to be like him?
Yeah, and you're paying his phone bill. They bought him like a fucking razor and shit. You know, it's like, geez, I know how you guys really feel about me. Which he was a nice kid. He's probably doing great. He's probably living a life that I probably never fucking will ever live, dude. You know? I mean, he went to college and shit. He fucking, you know, he's probably like 27 and married with like wonderful children now. You know? And there's me. I have a podcast. I'm just laughing. We were just talking. Do you guys think, so like, this is a question, this is really why I want to have girls on the podcast. I feel like in society, in our society in particular, there's this idea of relationships that's just not obtainable. It's just, I feel like...
I don't think it's not being able to be obtained, but the realization that relationships aren't what they get made out to be.
Yes, I feel like Hollywood makes relationships, or culture or media in general makes these relationships that we're in, like, real relationships are never how they're portrayed in social media or Hollywood.
Like, movies and shit kind of like portray it like, oh, the boy always writes her a love note or picks her up and takes her to school, or social media, it's like, I bought my girlfriend a hotel for the weekend and like decked it all out and there's roses everywhere and shit like that, but like, that's not real life.
Yeah.
It's not. Like, real relationships aren't really like that. Or like, we need to cuddle every single night before we go to bed. It's like, no, I'm gonna give you a kiss and then I'm rolling over and I'm going the fuck to bed.
Or sex. I always thought I'd have more sex. Again, not that we have a bad sex life, but yo, we're just gone all the time.
Yeah. No, for real. Like, bro, there's times where, like, I even want to have sex, but it's like, nah, dude, I don't feel like moving. So, sorry. You know? And I think that's something that
I think the emotional part is more what I never expected.
I just get upset because it's like this, right? Like, men and women have not been in a working relationship like we have. Like, this is new territory.
I don't think that's the reason.
But I'm saying, like, this is a new territory, like, two incomes holding down a household and both parties having to work.
No, I don't think that makes any difference within the bounds of a relationship.
You don't?
No, I don't.
You don't think that
I think you'd have the same problems, if not different problems, if the woman stayed home all the time, had a bunch of kids by the time she was 25. I do think it adds a different dynamic, because if I was a stay-at-home mom all the time, sure, I'd suck your dick, I don't give a fuck. Like, yeah, you'd have a fucking meal laid out every night. I'm good for it. But, like, yeah, does it make a difference? Sure. I don't think it would. I mean, I don't know.
I just feel like we've been sold this storytell lie of relationships that, like, and you should always be happy, and that you know, there's a happily ever after. But, like, I don't think humans ever got married for happiness. I don't think people ever got together out of happiness. I think they got together out of necessity.
I don't think humans are monogamous creatures, so I don't know where the monogamy culture came from. I'm not saying that I won't prefer monogamy, or I don't, but I know that's been, like, debated a lot in the past couple years, at least that I've seen it, and actually a lot of things point to us being polygamous creatures, which I think is interesting.
Well, that's the thing, right? So, like, me and Gavin were talking about this. Like, I think all of us in this room like monogamy, but only because it's all we know. Like, it's like this societal...
No, what I think the problem is that I like the idea of polygamy, but my idea of polygamy and your idea of polygamy is different. Because when I say polygamy to you, and let's have a polygamous relationship, you imagine 2 girlfriends when really I imagine 2 boyfriends.
Well, so, like, that's the thing, though, right? Is that, like, monogamy in general, this idea that we should only have one partner is, like, what we've been born into and bred into in general.
Well, that is monogamy and polygamy. Is that strictly sexual, or is that physiological, too? Because you hear about polygamous partners really making it work. They make it work for themselves. Well, and they'll even have children with both separate partners, and, like, they have the whole 9. They got a really good setup.
Well, I think polygamy was different. I think polygamy for sure happened back in the day, but also it was like different. So like it was nothing, like, not to be graphic, but it was nothing for you to have sex with one of your daughters. Like, let's be really frank, like there was people who had sex with their daughters to procreate. Like if the mother died, you know what I mean? Like that's what people did. People did that in the back of the, and there would be nothing for you to be married off to your uncle. You know what I mean? So like that's why it's different nowadays, because we're not having sex with 13-year-old girls or 30. I mean, you're not being forced to be in a relationship at 12 years old with
I
a
wasn't thinking like
35-year-old man.
incestual. I was thinking like multiple partners.
I understand, but what I'm trying to say is like the tribe in antiquity time, like, yeah, they did that. They had polygamous relationships within their tribe.
Well, they had to. It was
Or
a
within their
population
family.
thing.
Yeah.
That, not just population, but you needed people in your fucking tribe to get food and firewood and hunt and kill and warriors and...
Like, it was nothing. Like, think about how, like, back in the day, like, how many, like, people in, like, the 50s and 60s had, like, 5 to 10 kids. You know what I mean? They didn't do that because they wanted 5 to 10 kids. They did that because they needed some fucking farm hands.
I think it was both. I hear of it being both.
Yeah? You think so?
Yeah.
I mean, it would just make sense for me to have a farm and be like, all right, let's make some workers.
I want, when we settle down, I want lots of kids.
Me too.
And I want homestead.
You want
So
a homestead?
the two just fit together, I feel like. If you have the room, have the kids, and if you have the kids, you need the room.
I feel like life would be a lot simpler if we lived in simpler times. You know what I mean?
Money's a concept.
Yeah, like,
It's been on my mind this week. How
Like-
fucked up that is. Like, just the idea.
Money is a concept, but I feel like it is the most important thing in our world.
Isn't that weird?
Like,
though?
it runs everything. Like, without money, like, if you don't have money, you can't live.
Yeah,
like, it's
literally,
just-
you can't. You can't.
yeah, and then, like, even if you want to, like, be divulged from the system, you know what I mean? Then you got to give up things. Like, if you're like, all right, I'm going to live on my own now, you know what I mean? Like, you need money to buy a homestead. Like, you can go live.
You still have to pay property tax.
Yeah, you still got to pay property tax. You
And that's
can,
like off the grid homestead.
Yeah, and like, and then you can be like, all right, take a step further. I want to go live in a tent somewhere, and I want to go live in a van, and I don't care about property tax or owning a property or any of that. Well, you can. It's illegal. It's literally illegal for you to sleep in random places. It's illegal for you to sleep in someone's land property. That
You know
you're
it's
just
illegal to
sleeping in.
collect rainwater in some places?
And well, so like that's the scary thing is like we really are not free.
Even the
in
things that
this.
are like inherently given to us, someone, somewhere said no. That's weird to me. There are places in the world though where, I forget what it is, there's this like colonization, I forget what they call themselves, it's like in Denmark or some weird place. And they are doing it.
I'm
They're
talking about
doing
cults.
it. It's not a cult. There's no religious context to it.
A commune.
I don't know what you would call it, but I'll have to find it. Hold on.
There's communes in America where you can go and just live on the land that the commune provides, but you still
have to be there for church
and you still have to like come and produce and like make something in the community. You can't just live there scot free. You would have to like be a part of the commune, literally, you know. So this is the problem for me is like capitalist society doesn't work, right? Like it has its benefits as communists have their benefits or a communist country has its benefits, but both equally suck. Like
Excuse me.
I was listening to the podcast when they were interviewing a North Korean escapee, and how she was talking that you could get shot and killed for foraging your own food. That all the land in North Korea is owned by the government, and no one owns land, but they have houses. However, if you grow food, you would be shot and killed and murdered for growing your food. And this lady was literally talking about how they would go into forests and have to find crickets and eat crickets. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, free land, free healthcare. Sounds great. But what does that look like? You know what I mean? And it's like, are we even free living inside of that conformed society? Because I know we're not free truly because of the concept of money in this capitalist society.
No, this place that I'm thinking of, I'm trying to find it. They don't have a money concept. The men get up, and hunt and fish. The women get up, they bear children. They all share food. They all chip in work, and they're doing it, and they're doing it well.
Well, so look, that's like the easy part of life, right?
How do you think I would search that?
I don't know, but that's the easy part of life, right? Like literally shelter, food, and life. Like, I don't know what it is, but I mean, it's probably a harder life than we live now, right? Everything's easy, you know?
Well, that, and we take for granted everything that we should be enjoying.
I take for granted little moments in my life due to constant worry and angst about the future. Like, it's hardwired in me, like, where, like, I'm trying to enjoy a moment, but then I'm like, oh, I gotta pay a bill.
Hate my life. Damn.
I don't know. I feel like having you two here right now is a good thing, because, like, I feel like these kind of conversations need to happen more often between people. Because I feel like...
The problem is I'm going to wake up tomorrow and go to my job.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to get Starbucks.
We don't gotta work tomorrow, babe.
I know. Figure of speech.
Oh.
While I'm sitting on my laptop smoking cigarettes on my iPhone. The things that we love in this life require money. It's true. Like, could you and I live off the land? Probably. We could. You'd have to work. You couldn't be, like, distracted with a weed whacker. Like, you'd actually have to, like, go do work. It's true. But I think you and I could do it. I think it's harder than what people say it is, though, too.
Would you ever go live in a commune? Would you ever go live off the land?
No. I don't think I can do it.
Why?
No electric, no plumbing. Like, it's not just, like, camping for a weekend. It's forever.
Yeah.
No running water.
Yeah. Not to sound like a bougie, stuck-up bitch, but, like, I like a warm or hot shower.
I was about to say you wouldn't shower.
Yeah.
Like, you'd bathe, but you'd probably bathe once every few days in water that's not fresh.
Can you imagine? Could you imagine
running out of food and having to wait till your crops ripened?
Can you imagine what people used to smell like? Like, who didn't shower?
No, because they had ways of self-hygiene.
Dude, I don't know. Do you know the Romans used to wash their clothes and piss?
What?
It's sterile.
Yeah.
Yeah, they used to wash dirty clothes.
But they didn't just
and
dry
piss.
it and run around smelling like piss.
I don't know what they did, but they washed it and piss.
I mean, even if you look into, like, modern history, where you get into, like the Victorian age, or even past that, like, there was a lot of things we were doing that we were like, now we're looking at like, ew, why would they do that?
Do you guys know why Listerine is called Listerine?
Why?
You do?
Uh-huh.
It's so interesting, dude. So
Listerine, I'm trying to think if I remember. He originally made it for it to do something else, but then it didn't work, so then he made it into a mouthwash. What was it?
close. So back in the Victorian age, if you had a surgery, right? So
I remember hearing it because I was the one that turned on the show. I remember that.
Yes. So, Victorian surgeons, right? This is what would happen in a surgery. If you found like a lump on yourself, you would just, call a surgeon and they'd be like, oh yeah, that's a lump. We're going to remove it for you, right? And they wouldn't tell you when they were coming, or like if you needed like an amputation, just any surgery, these pre-Victorian surgeons, right? They would just show up to your doorstep.
And that's if you were lucky enough to get a surgeon.
Yeah,
And you had to pay money for that.
Correct.
Like big money. It wouldn't just be like, oh, I got Medicaid, I'm going to run and go get this cyst removed.
So, and also these surgeons were not really doctors. They just knew how to hack shit off of people. So, like, it wasn't like you're getting, like, the best service possible with all this money you're spending, right? So they come, they give you whatever. Like, yeah, we're going to cut that fucking tit off. It's got a big lump on it. You know what I mean? Or we're going to cut that leg off. It's fucking infected, right? And so they wouldn't tell you when they were coming, right? They would just show up at your doorstep. They'd be like, next week you need to clear out 3 days, and I will be here within those 3 days. So you wouldn't know when. They would just knock on your door and they would show up, right? And they'd be like, all right, get on your kitchen table. I'm going to lop your tit off. And they would just fucking lop your tit off, bro. They would just fucking cut your tit off, right? Now here's the thing. They would never clean their tools. the invention or the
Well, they
knowledge.
didn't even have knowledge of bloodborne pathogens.
Yeah, they didn't.
Never thought it was an issue. It wasn't that they were gross.
Yeah, no, they never knew anything about viruses or infections or anything like that, right? They did not know, right? Like, people thought, like, the plague was literally, a religious thing, like God was coming down and that's why people had plague. So to this day, in the Victorian era, they didn't know anything about how infections actually work. So imagine this. They went to your house, cut off your tit. They come to my house and cut off my leg with the same fucking saw they just used to cut off your tit. So people were dying of infection after these surgeries, really. It wasn't the surgeries that were killing people, it was the infections after the surgery that would kill them. So Listerine happened because Dr. Lister figured out that when he cleaned his tools, right, with this solution he had created, that people weren't getting infections.
Most of the things we have today are, I love, like, household history or like food history. Like, you start talking about French Revolution and all this other shit, you lose me. But you start talking about this type of shit, most of the things we have nowadays have amazing stories behind them.
Yeah.
Really cool stories.
Yeah. So how we got Listerine is because Dr. Lister used to clean off his fucking saws so people wouldn't get infections, and he created that and made it into a mouthwash. That's what.
It's nuts.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
So.
Well, then it makes you wonder too, because we've talked about like living off the grid or how they used to live back then. Like, it's crazy when you start looking at like Eastern medicine, how humans have been around for so long, and these things have been working, maybe not as well as some of the things we have today, but then how easily it is for us now to just be like, I would never rinse my mouth with salt water, but that's what they've been doing for thousands of years, and it's worked. Again, maybe not as well as Listerine, but
I mean, they found batteries in Iraq and Afghanistan that predates, in antiquity time. They found working batteries. Not the way that we conceptualize batteries working, but batteries to charge something that's electrical in its components. Or take the Romans, for example, right? Like, the fall of Rome, when the Dark Ages happened, after Rome had finally fallen and we had all these like European people, they were looking at the aqueducts that Romans had built and the roads, and they were like, these,
we don't know how.
they were like, what are we, this is, they thought it was ancient. They were like, these are aliens. Like, what's living on this planet with us? They had no idea about the knowledge left behind from the Romans.
Well, then what's interesting about that too is you have some civilizations in history that understood the technologies of modern plumbing, like how you said aqueducts, or they were already using technology that the other side of the world hundreds of years after couldn't even wrap their minds around. I mean, we're sitting here and to this day we still don't know how the pyramids were built.
I was
They
just
have
thinking about
ideas.
that.
They have ideas. They can lay you out 5 different options and you can pick one that sounds really well, but at the end of the day, we don't know how they're there. Aliens. Aliens.
Bro, I'm with it. I know. It is aliens, bro. They're trying to tell me that some fucking skilled labor, some skilled slave laborers
Well, how about this
took
one?
bronze tools and cut out bedrock.
How about this one? Google Maps. You can pull up Google Maps, Google Earth, and hyperpixelate a destination in this world and look at it, right? But we still don't know if there's an Atlantis. There are hidden pyramids right now. Over in, we were watching that thing, oh gosh, what's the civilization that's older than the Egyptians?
Samaria?
No, Mayan. There are Mayan temples that haven't been discovered, and they're taking like these like geographical like thermal pictures and seeing that there's pyramids, but they can't find them. They're going up in the air with drones and helicopters and planes, and they're taking like huge landscape photos, and they're like, okay, we can tell from geographically that there's something there, mounds, quote unquote pyramids, whatever, and then they get down on foot, can't find them.
Well, like, that's the thing, right? Is like,
Things are being hidden from us.
if Pangea is real, right? So like the volcanoes exploding and ocean tides, and like at one point in time supposedly that all of our continents connected, right?
Right.
So if that's the case, what civilizations? Because I mean, guys, 100 years of life that we will be lucky to have, right? It's a fucking blink in the time of existence, right? I mean, it's just gone. How many fucking civilizations are buried under the ocean that we don't really know about, and that we'll never get to know about? You know, that's what's crazy. Is like we could literally be living. We might be thinking that, hey, you know, we're the newest civilization with all the best technology, but really some asshole like us a million years ago tried to live just like us and didn't fare too well. You know.
Speaking of that, I just saw this TikTok where I don't know if it's a fact or not, but like scientists have like made us believe, and that we were taught in elementary school, blah blah blah, that Earth has a core, and there's all these layers to the Earth, whatever. But just recently, they figured out or think or something that like the Earth is actually hollow. So it's like filled with water or like something else.
That's the thing, is some of these like really simple things that we have been taught, and I've had to like drill this into some of the people that I know, including you, Cameron. Him and I'll go on about subjects like this, and I have to remind him it's a theory. It is a theory. The Big Bang is a theory. It's a theory. Like, we can't live life like these things are definitive answers when no one really knows. Even the big guys have come down and gone, we think the Earth has a core, but have we ever been to the middle of the Earth?
Well, that's the thing. That's
not a fact.
They can't even drill down to the core. They can't even get close to the core, right? They try to drill, and like after a certain amount of fucking feet, their drills just stop working. They're like, we can't get down here anymore. We don't know.
I don't know, one thing that I'm always talking about when we get into like this type of supernatural things is something, nobody wakes up one day and goes, I'm going to create a lie that's going to affect the entire existence of humans. I'm going to say that fairies exist. I'm going to say that unicorns. And then I'm going to, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take a horse and I'm going to put a horn on it, and I'm going to tell everyone this creature exists, and they're all going to believe me. People don't do that. Or like right now, it's gone viral again, is mermaids. People are claiming to see sirens, to see humans that are also fish. And they've come in all different sorts. No one wakes up one day and just creates that as a lie. Someone saw that. Someone must have thought they saw that and told the next person. Like, these things just don't come out of nowhere. Like, if I could wake up and say, think of some sort of weird creature and go, oh my God, this exists. And then everyone's just going to look at me like I'm crazy. They're not going to be telling that hundreds of years from now. The problem is, like, so many people have seen some of these phenomenons.
I mean,
and that they're all coming to the table and going, yo, wait. We think this thing exists. You know what I mean? Look at, who's the dude? Sasquatch.
Oh, dude.
There have been multiple accounts of that. So we're just going to say fuck all of them? They all need to be in a...
It's because the government doesn't want us to know.
Exactly. Why can't unicorns, fairies...
Listen, I would be all for Sasquatch. Listen, I would even believe more in aliens and Sasquatches if just some reputable people talked about it.
Well, like, aliens... Well, no, because they only came out talking about UFOs. They never actually talked about other beings.
That's what I'm saying. If I had, like... If there was, like, not some country backwooded motherfucker, like, yeah, I see me a Sasquatch back there... I would buy into it a little bit more.
Have you done research about Sasquatch?
No, because every time I hear something about Sasquatch, it's just that one guy with the fucking trucker hat going, yeah, I see me a Sasquatch in them backwoods there.
Go read on about it. There are groups of people that have dedicated years into finding this. It's really amazing. It's like that documentary we watched with the UFO and the C8 group. Was it C8? What did they call themselves?
I don't remember.
And like they're like summoning these UFOs, and like it's amazing. And like that's the thing, is like people talk like what you just did. If you didn't hear it coming out of some person's mouth and you stereotyped them, then maybe you'd believe it. The problem is it is there, and it's just we're not being shown it. We're not looking at it because we're worried about what we're making for dinner. We're worried about it because we're looking at our TikTok. Like, it's all full circle.
That's the truth. I think social media neutralizes us in a certain way, and whether that's with like topics like this or politics, like who needs to go march or do something about the life they're actually living when A, you have responsibilities and a job, and B, you can just bitch at that stupid motherfucker on Instagram or TikTok. Like,
people are marching though. Just because you're not doesn't mean people porn.
And well, that's the thing though, is like,
You talked about this on a previous podcast.
yeah, like who's actually doing something about it though? You know what I mean? Like, who's actually out there like trying
That's
to
the
actually
thing, though.
change the
It's
world?
like that's again the full circle thing where it's like you think that because social media is throwing Beyonce's new concert in your face, and you think that because you're sitting on TikTok and you're watching all these other things. When they bombed Iraq a few years ago, the only thing, I was sitting at work, I was working at Walmart at the time, and I was on my lunch break, and I was watching the news. I wasn't. They had it on the TV, so I was watching it. And it was, the whole screen was all about Beyonce's Super Bowl halftime show, and across the bottom in thin lines was all about how they bombed Iraq. The only reason you don't know about it is because social media is not showing you.
well,
But that doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
well, that's the funny thing, right? is
People
like,
are protesting. People are getting out and walking the streets. They're not just sitting online, you know.
That's like the funniest thing, right? Is that like how everyone's making a big stink right now about Afghanistan and Kabul, right? But it's like, yo, we've been at war for 20 years. Like,
People don't know that we've been in an active state of war.
and
That's
like,
kind of sad.
Like where was the outcry for 20 years? Like now you're choosing to die on this hill? Like, come on. Like,
Well, the only reason it's been such a big deal is because the 5 Marines lost their lives, which is unfortunate and should never have happened. But we've been in an active state of war for my entire lifetime.
yeah, really think about that. Like,
it's
our parents,
politics. There's
our parents
politics
have
behind
been
that,
too.
though.
Our parents have been, right? Vietnam, the Korean War, Gulf War, now Iraq and Afghanistan, like perpetual war. It's really. I wanted to join the military when I was 18. Like, I was going to do that. I was going to join the military, and then I was like, I caught a weed charge and I couldn't.
So you have no experience with recovery?
Not personally, but like my uncle and my cousin and my family and family friends. So
Has
She
it
has-
been like
she has to explain this a lot.
mind-blowing? Has it been mind-blowing? Because I'm in recovery and I don't believe half the shit I see. Has it been so crazy for you, like working in recovery and like seeing some of the stuff?
oh yeah, for sure,
Has it fucked with you?
a little bit.
Yeah.
Like what? Don't use names, but like what?
That dude who just full on had a seizure and I had to run and I was the only one out there. That fucked me up a little bit. People hallucinating and like I've never experienced that before. Projectile vomiting and just all that crazy shit and like the stories that people tell about like what they've been through.
I couldn't do
and-
it. It would weigh too heavily on me, I think.
Yeah.
Emotionally, I'd get burnt out real fast.
Yeah.
There's sometimes when people tell you stories though, like I can tell because I have a good bullshit radar, but like sometimes people tell me shit, I'm like, that did not happen. You know what I mean? Like, please stop. You know, like they'll be like, yeah, dude, I was a kingpin in Cleveland and I sold fucking 4 ounces of heroin. I'm like, no, you fucking didn't, man. Just say it. You lived at your mom's house and you sold drugs to your friends, man. Just be honest, dude. And they're like, no, dude, you don't know what I did, dude. I'm like, no, I know exactly what you did. I did it. You know? That's like
Recovery's been so weird for me. I feel like I'm the outcast of recovery.
Really?
Yeah, I've never done like any like hard drugs ever.
Yeah, but like that's the
And I'm not from Toledo. I didn't run with anybody in this crowd. I never like tore down my entire family.
That's the stigma with alcohol. With alcohol, though, is like heroin addicts and like drug addicts like look at alcohol like, oh, it's nothing. No, dude, alcohol
alcohol's
is fucking terrible.
More dangerous than any drug. And the fact that there's this just like blind sight on alcohol. Not that I think alcohol is bad. I think I shouldn't have alcohol. I just wish there was more awareness. Like, people think of meth and they're like, yeah, meth is bad. Let's go drink a brewski. And it's their 9th one of the day. Like, it's just so socially normalized to, like, have a glass of wine every night when you get home from work. Like, it's, you know, America's #1 for binge drinkers.
What age were you when you had your first drink?
I'm probably like 14.
Isn't that crazy?
And you know, but that's the fucked up thing is in other countries, young children are allowed to drink. They're taught healthy drinking habits. I have told Cam, and I'm being vulnerable, as I feel like had I had more knowledge on alcohol, its effects and its side effects, that I would have been more knowledgeable when I was like, okay, the reason I don't feel normal is because I'm drinking. and I would maybe, like, the card's been dealt, I'm an alcoholic, I'm not denying that, but I think it would have been different.
I mean, if you look at our society, like the first party you go to, getting drunk with your friends, these are all like moments,
Rite of passages.
that we can look at and be like, yeah,
You're
I did
cool.
that.
If you're in high school and you get to go to a keg party, you're cool.
Oh, for sure. And it's like our number one leading causes of death in America is heart disease, cancer being second, liver, and kidney, right? Alcohol affects all of those major organs that were just noted, right? Alcohol also increases anxiety and increases depression. And everyone in America is fucking depressed and has anxiety. Come on. You know what I mean? Like, how many people
I
literally...
just don't think it's talked about. You know, you drive in downtown Toledo and it's like the first fucking, all the billboards, every single billboard in downtown Toledo is an alcohol advertisement.
Yep.
You wouldn't advertise a full rig, would you? You walk into Myers. Myers has a big selection. I mean, imagine being a heroin addict, walking into a Walmart and just seeing rig after rig after rig of all the newest and coolest. That is weird. That's weird. And I don't know, I mean, there's been studies done about people doing hard drugs recreationally, but I just wish there was more awareness about alcohol.
Yeah, well, like, that's the thing, right? Is that, like, I think our society, like, stigmatizes drugs and alcohol so bad that's the reason, like...
I think they stigmatize drugs. I think they normalize alcohol.
No, they don't. Think about it. Because each one of us drank underage. And we had no knowledge or effect of what alcohol was going to do to us when we drank it. However, we still drank it and felt comfortable enough with drinking it. And that's because it is normalized. However, we had to do that behind closed doors. We couldn't let our parents know.
Only because we were underage.
Right, but that's the thing. It was illegal. We couldn't let our parents know. They were going to be mad at us because we were breaking rules, right? Like, the European countries, you can have a beer when you're younger, right? Us, we can't have a beer. We gotta lie to our parents about it.
You can't on private property at 16. I think Ohio's the same way.
I don't know about that, but all I know is that we had to hide drinking from our parents, hide smoking weed from our parents, hide these things because we weren't allowed to do them. So what does that make us do when mom makes us
I'm just trying to make it make sense.
It doesn't.
Like, you look at, like, pop culture that's being made for young adults or, you know, preteen adolescents. Who is it? Lady Gaga came out with a single like 6 months ago, and it was like, just the tiniest part of you has to sit back and go, like, and I'm trying not to be a Karen, but, like, you just have to sit back and go, what? Like, what?
You know,
Look at some of the Kesha songs. Look at Katy Perry. That's what I listened to at 13, 14. Look at the movies.
You know what's even worse, dude, nowadays is the fucking weed smokers of the world, dude. Those people, not like an average weed smoker, but like the people who are like newfound weed smokers. They're like, yeah, weed is such an amazing drug and it helps me with my anxiety and my bipolar. It's like, dude, shut the fuck. Where were you? Huh? Where were you? I was smoking blunts of Reggie. Okay? I had a headache after I smoked that shit. And now you want to come in here and act like you smoke weed, dude? You vape from a goddamn pen, Caden. Okay? You're hitting it from a goddamn weed pen, bro. And
Those things will really hit, though.
Yeah, dude. They're like crackheads, bro. They're like lighting a nail and they're trying to fucking get all of it smoking at the same time while they're lighting the fucking nail with the torch.
I don't know, but there is science behind, like...
Well, that's different. That's different than a dab pen.
Yeah.
I know, but all I'm saying is that, like, these new age weed smokers are like, weed's the chosen drug. Like, dude, no, it's not.
I don't know. You look at the science, like, I don't disagree with any of that shit.
Listen, dude,
I also have people in my personal life that smoke a lot. And I would rather, if my best friend said, hey, she's got a pill in one hand and she's got weed in the other, and she goes, which one fixes this problem? And weed does. I would rather her have smoked weed, because fuck Big Pharma, or my mom who has multiple sclerosis. She can't even eat unless she's smoked. Smoke. Girl, smoke your drugs.
I admit to that part, but what I'm talking about is the people who find that, like, weed is just this, like, benevolent, beneficiary drug that has nothing wrong with it. Like, no, dude, I wasted 3 years of my life sitting on the couch smoking weed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, fucking, I was a piece of shit, dude. Like, How many people?
Well, a drug is a drug is a drug is a drug.
How many people though do you know that, like, I'm not saying your friend, I'm not saying people that we know who smoke weed. How many people do you know though that smoke weed and spend their whole paycheck on smoking weed and live a terrible, shitty life just smoking weed? How many fucking Chads do you know, Jenna, who are just playing COD with dusty Cheeto fingers, sending dick pics, and just smoking weed, dude? You know what I mean? Like, everything in moderation, I guess, Chad.
Yeah.
I mean, the people I have in my life are big weed smokers, but I mean, they're also some of the, I mean, just those two people I said are some of the most two powerful people I know in my life. So it's for just as many people who might abuse that drug, because it is a drug, just like any other drug.
That's my point. They're like, weed's a plant, man. It's like, so is fucking opium, man, and I love it. Like, what? You know what I mean? Like,
I think there's good arguments for weed, and I would want it to be legal everywhere for more than just drug reasons, but I mean, politically speaking, too.
you know, alcohol comes from the plant. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, like, it's just, I don't like
I think I think the defense gets used as a plant because you can literally pluck it and smoke it.
Yeah.
The difference between opium and alcohol is, sure, it's made from a plant, but with beer you have to distill it.
So, here's the thing though, with alcohol, if you take strawberries and let them get old, right? It's still alcoholic.
Yeah, it's just not any good.
So I found this out, right? So back in the day, hundreds of years ago, people would drink fermented fruit, right? However, it was only like 2% alcohol, right? This fermented fruit that they were drinking was like 2%. So the reason, you're right, because now you actually have to distill it to get it at that high of a level. But you could say alcohol comes from a plant, man. It's healthy, man. You know, but like, it doesn't change the fact that it's not. It doesn't change the fact that fucking smoking 100 blunts in a month is not healthy.
Well, I think with any drug, I mean, like you said, anything in moderation.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if it doesn't affect your life that much, then, like, you know, who am I to fucking tell you what to do? But, like, dude, if you're working at McDonald's and you're 32 years old and your highest aspiration in life is when you roll up to work in your fucking Chevy, your 01 Chevy Cavalier, that you can't wait to just light up a blunt, you might want to fucking take a look at your life.
I mean,
You know
what's
what I
worse
mean?
than that, though? Showing up to your McDonald's car in your Chevy and not smoke a blunt?
I think the worst part is working at McDonald's and being 32.
So what's the real dilemma here, weed or McDonald's?
I think the real dilemma here is like, but like, why? Why are you working at McDonald's at 32 and have an 01 Chevy Cavalier?
Someone's got to do it. Hey, the managers get paid pretty decent.
Listen, if I was a manager, I would take it. If I was a manager.
If you were a manager at McDonald's, you'd probably get paid more doing that than what you are now.
I think you would. Yeah, no, I actually, please don't fire me, but I actually set up an application for Chick-fil-A general manager.
Have you?
And yeah.
Don't lie, you've been filling out applications for the past year and a half.
I know. But they called me for an interview.
Did they really?
Yeah.
You didn't tell me.
I didn't take it, but I have the voicemail.
Could you just imagine Cam, like, frying chicken?
$75 grand a year, buddy. 75. That's
Just Cam always saying, my pleasure.
My pleasure.
That's what they're offering. That means I can go in there and maybe ask for
Yeah, but then you gotta
$5K
fucking
more.
drink the Kool-Aid. Have you heard
Oh,
about
I would
Chick-fil-A?
drink all that Kool-Aid.
You'd have to be a Christian.
Listen, you'd suck a dick for $3,000. I'd work at Chick-fil-A for $75 a year.
Man,
would
those
suck a
chicken
dick for
nuggets
a
now.
grand.
Yeah. Huh? What'd you say?
I said I'd suck a dick for $1,000. Went over that earlier.
Jesus, dude. Fuck it. That's what I'm saying, dude. $75K a year, dude. I'd work at McDonald's for $75K a year. I would do, listen, $75K a year in my life, I would have a good life, okay?
Yeah, for sure.
I'd have a great life with $75K. Listen, actually, I can't even tell it on the podcast because we want to make it a secret, so I'll tell you guys afterwards because I'm so serious about doing this. But, you know, I don't know, man. I feel like people who, I don't know, I feel like it's really cliche to be like, weed's so good for you, man. Like, no, dude, it's good for some people.
Yeah.
It's not good for everyone,
I agree with that.
you know?
Because I know of people, I don't know them personally anymore, but I know of people who, unfortunately, like, I don't like the argument that weed is not addictive. Neither is sex, but there are such... Hello. Whoa. Neither is sex, but, I mean, you still get rooms of sex addicts. I mean, anything can be addictive. in the sense of it, and unfortunately, there are some people who get pulled down into weed.
Dude, I'm addicted to chicken tendies, dude. I made those chicken tendies last night.
Dude, they were so juicy. They really were
I
great.
haven't stopped fucking thinking about them since I ate them, dude.
You should make some more today.
I was really mad. Listen,
I'm mad you didn't make any more.
I love her so much that I split them half with her. Like all the ones I made. Like I didn't take more. Like I literally,
Well, because you thought they were gonna suck.
I
saw you
it's not
eyeing
it.
my plate.
I took a bite out of one of them beforehand to make sure they were done, and I gave myself that one. You know what I mean?
That's what I was gonna say next. Is after he ate the one.
Yeah, I took
Then
a bite,
we shared
but
half.
I could have gave her that half of one. You know what I'm saying? I split them half down the middle, bro.
Do you like to cook?
I like it, but I don't really have time for it, sadly.
What's your favorite thing to cook?
Chicken fried rice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Me and Eric went over to their house one night and she cooked us chicken quesadillas, bro. What the fuck? They were
bet they
so
were
good.
Do you have a little quesadilla maker?
I do.
You do?
Jason's favorite meal, though, is chicken and pasta.
If I make too much chicken, Cam will comment about it.
That's all he
What,
wants
chicken
is
again?
chicken. Chicken.
I get it from my father. I remember there's an argument that my dad got with my mother, I think when I was younger, and he was like, dude, my dad would argue about the stupidest shit. I remember one time he threw a hissy fit about Diet Coke. Like, he wanted Diet Pepsi, and my mom got Diet Coke, and she was like, it's Diet Pepsi! He's like, I want a Diet Coke, woman! I want a Diet fucking Coke! You know what I mean? But, like, there was this arguments my dad would get, and he'd be like, chicken! Frickin' fucking chicken!
Yo, that's what we make most of the time is some sort of chicken, a veggie, and a carb. But then the carbs won't even be real carbs because we're eating healthy. It'll be a fake carb.
Yeah, we'll do like pasta, like fake fucking veggie pasta noodles, dude, but they taste so good. Dude, we made this meal, we made homemade mac and cheese with
Your
fucking,
mom's recipe.
yeah.
I tried that once.
Oh my god, I'll send it to you.
It's so easy.
amazing. Boil the pasta, make the sauce. We make the sauce, and then I quick fried cheddar jalapeno brats.
So good,
but then I cut them up so they were like little hot dogs.
And then we baked it.
We baked it with bacon.
Oh my fucking god, that was so good, dude. I think I'm gonna make a spaghetti bake tonight.
Yeah, you can
I'm
do
gonna
whatever you want.
I'll make us baked spaghetti.
You better make me dinner.
Dude, I love cooking for her. I'm not gonna lie, I love cooking for
Are
her.
you sensitive?
I think I am, but I just don't show it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sensitive. Like, I'm like out of control. Do you get your feelings hurt a lot?
No.
Oh, I do.
I
Does Jason hurt your feelings?
Yeah.
Like more than other people?
No.
I hurt your feelings more than other people.
Yeah, but I think it's just because I'm sensitive.
Yeah, she comes off like really like cutthroat and hard, but she's
It's
like
a facade.
yeah.
It's literally like I'll walk around like a child after you guys leave. I'll go get my little binky and my slippers.
It's like the little things that could like hurt my feelings. Like little stupid shit. Like not like hurt my feelings like I'm gonna cry, but I'm just like, damn.
I cry. Someone was watching a movie at work the other night, and I was walking up to do a repair on one of the cars, and someone had yelled and said, "We need to get her a tissue, she's crying." And I thought they were messing with each other, but I looked over, she was bawling her eyes out. She's like, "I'm watching this movie, it's so sad." I'm like, "What movie is it? I'm gonna cry."
I love dogs, and there was like this dog movie on Netflix. And
What was it called?
And she was like protesting watching it. She was like, "This is a dog movie, so it's gonna be sad, and I don't want to watch it." I'm like, "Come on, baby, it's gonna be good. We should just watch this movie. It's about a dog." It was like a coo or something, like a kai, some weird fucking movie, right?
It was the dog that had its owner and waited for him at the train station.
Oh my god, I know what you're talking about.
And it's like a real story about a Japanese dog. They actually have like a fucking statue in Japan about this dog. And we watched it, and it got to the end, and she's just a puddle, bro. She's just.
I cried last night because I saw a TikTok of a cat. Someone had put a kitten into a cardboard box, taped it up, and put it out in the trash.
Who does that? I cry about that shit too.
Yeah.
Just yesterday, I came across Facebook all these pictures from like Hurricane Ida and like don't leave your pet stranded, blah blah blah, and there were like all these dogs like swimming in the street with all the water, and I was like, Jason, look at these dogs. I was like, if there was ever a hurricane, those fucking dogs are coming with us.
I cried, so I'll never forget being made fun of for crying about this from my cousin. My cousin's the same age as me. I'm like 6.
Cam cries at some weird things.
Like what?
Cam comes off really hard, but like every now and then he'll get you and start crying about something. You were crying at that song.
Oh yeah, yeah. When we were driving, I cried like about happy things.
Car, and I got a plan to get us out of here.
Yeah.
He's like, his eyes are like, he's like.
I cry about happy stuff. I don't really cry about I can't sometimes when I'm sad I can't even cry. But like when it comes to like happy feelings, I'll cry about that. I'll be like, oh, this song's so good. This song makes me so happy.
We were watching a movie together a little while ago. We were both just laying there crying.
What? I think it was a dog movie. I think it was the dog movie.
Something else. I have a list of movies in my head that if I'm trying to cry, play. You ever seen My Sister's Keeper? Oh, you want to cry? You watch that one.
What's it about?
It's about this girl that this girl gets leukemia, and it's all about her and how she dies and stuff. And then there's this one scene where she made this like scrapbook for her family. She's going through it. She's going through her scrapbook, and she's like, you can hear the narrator. It's her narrating, but she's like speaking to all of her siblings. And she's just like, this is why I love you, and this is why I'll miss you, and so sad. That shit'll straight fuck me up.
Yo, sometimes at work, and I'll be like, I gotta go outside for 5 minutes, Cam. I know exactly what she's doing, dude. One of two things. She's going to call Jason, or she's going to cry.
You need that sometimes, though. You just need to go cry and like let it out.
Yeah, dude. For sure.
What?
Just, I feel it, bro.
I cry when I'm stressed out, and I'm stressed out 99% of the time.
Yeah, dude. We all are at work, dude.
I couldn't do it. Although most people couldn't do my job either.
No, I agree. I couldn't do your job. I'll admit that in a heartbeat. I can't. It's just,
I have a coworker right now who was told if he doesn't quit, he's going to have a heart attack in the next 2 years.
Really?
Yeah, some people can't do it. And mostly, like, you would think it's a physical fuck, but it's not. It's a mental fuck. It's hard.
There was some studies I've seen that stress in particular leads to heart disease and heart attacks.
You can literally die of a broken heart. There's all these little strings that hold all your muscles together, and if you ever experience trauma, you'll fucking bust one of them strings in your heart. You won't tear the muscle or anything, but it's part of your heart.
That's really crazy about the human body is that emotions are metastasized with also physical feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So that feeling in the pit of your stomach when you're really upset or taken off guard by something, or your heart literally hurting because of something that you went through, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. That's the definition of anxiety.
You know,
at least my anxiety.
That kind of stuff, dude.
Chest pains and shit. Yeah. The brain is so powerful. That's why I told you that shit last week.
Mm-hmm.
About before you walk into your house.
How's that going, by the way?
I started doing that actually, and I have
really?
not seen Shadow Man ever since.
Did you do it every day?
Almost every day.
Almost every day. Did you feel better walking into the
Yes.
house then?
Dude, the whole time it was just Jason.
Are you just saying that? You
No,
really did?
I really did it. I really did it.
Good.
I sat in my car for a second, and I was like,
I thought about you all week. Every time I got home, I thought about you.
yeah, that was some scary ass shit.
Listen, we saved the house, bro.
Oh, remind me to give you that thing before you leave.
Are you gonna be weirded out, Jason, if I sage the house?
I don't care about shit.
He's gonna act like nothing even happened.
He's gonna be like, I'm gonna go out, smoke a cigarette.
I'm gonna go watch the game, babe.
You're just trancing around him. Get out! Go! Get out!
Good vibes only.
No, but listen, me and Shane are talking about some real shit, and she was not happy. We had first
No,
moved
I
in.
didn't. Okay,
Hold
no,
on. I'm not gonna put it a bad way. I understand why. I feel her on this, bro.
I just wasn't in the mood to have Shane talk about it, and then he disrespected me because after I asked him not to talk about it, he kept talking about it.
Yeah.
And that's when I got irritated.
Yeah, it was my fault too because I was
That's like if I asked someone to take their shoes off before coming in my house. Take your fucking shoes off.
I love talking about that shit, but it kind of like unsettles me a little bit because
I gotta be in the mood for it. I gotta be in the mood for it.
Yeah.
Or that shit will I'll get a dent in my mental health. If I'm not feeling it, then I can't talk about it. Especially in the place that I live. Mm-hmm. The place I call home. Like if I'm not feeling it, that one specific occasion though was only because I felt like he was being disrespectful.
Listen, I know we don't really want to talk about it, but I'm gonna talk about it because it's a funny story. We fucking got on the Skinwalker kick for all of 4 hours, and we got done watching it, and we turned off the TV. We went off from Skinwalkers.
And we were sitting there talking for 20 minutes all about Skinwalkers.
Yeah, and it's the YouTube is paused, and we just spent hours watching stuff about Skinwalkers, freaking ourselves out, right? Mm-hmm. And then our lights, all of our power went out in our house.
Holy shit.
Mm-hmm. And we were just she was telling me, she's like, look out the window. I'm like, I'm not looking out that fucking window.
I think Skinwalkers are aliens. Dude. I think everything that we think of as supernatural is actually just aliens.
Could be a possibility.
Oh, really? Really?
Well, that's listen.
If aliens can drop a pyramid, then the little ghost you think you have in your house that's moving shit around, it's probably just an alien.
Listen, dude. Jenna said that people think it's a hollow Earth. How scary is that? If the Earth was actually hollow and really the aliens are not from outer space.
There's claims that there's people what was it, the Skinwalker Ranch? There's claims that UFOs are dropping out of the sky, going into the horizon. They're not seeing where they're going, but then they'll go to the spot that they see it drop, and there's nothing. And then there's reports of them being able to hear machinery underground, under their houses.
What?
So maybe it's not a fucking core in the earth. Maybe it's a fucking alien civilization.
Seriously?
No, really.
Just under our noses, dude.
Yes, they're just right under us.
She wanted to go. We were gonna go to Put Bay this weekend, but we couldn't. And she wanted to go to the caves, and I was just like, when she said caves, I was like, no caves.
I don't belong in caves.
Yeah, that's what I said. Because I'm fat. I'm not gonna fit through crevices, dude.
It's a big cave.
And get stuck in a fucking cave. Sounds like a horror movie.
Going camping.
Yeah, we all should. That'd be fun.
100%.
That'd be fun, dude. Me and Jason can just grab a couple sticks up, dude. And just
we should go off the grid camping.
No, I don't want to do all that.
Dude, I'd rather get murdered.
Dude, that's what the white guy in the van made me feel like. I felt like he was gonna murder us, dude.
Well, then he was there alone, and then all of his stuff was
and then it was
in blood. And
it was weird too, because we had went to the campsite, seen him. We had set up the tent, and then we had went swimming, and then this motherfucker went swimming. I had seen him swimming.
No, I have watched documentaries about, or it was this YouTube video or something where this couple went camping, and this guy would live in the campground sneaking around and shit, and stalk this couple and followed them because it was on TikTok. This girl was taking pictures of her little nature walk that they did or whatever, and then she went back and looked at the pictures and saw the dude following them, and then she ran. They were walking somewhere, I don't know, but this guy was trying to kill them.
Have you ever heard of Rainbow Nodding?
Yes, I have the app on my phone. And I did it. Yes.
What was it like?
Me and my best friend from high school did it.
When?
When it first was popular and trending on TikTok and shit. I think so.
Okay.
During the first pandemic.
Cam and I attract if Cam and I are in certain energy headspaces, we really will attract some weird ass shit. So I don't want to do it with him.
No, we literally the first thing we did, we got in my car, we were in my driveway.
Did you do the whole meditation?
Yes.
And fixate on something?
Yes, we were think of something red. Think of something red. We were take us to red. Take us to red. And we got in the car, gave us the little thing or whatever, and we were following to it, and it was this old abandoned house on this country road back behind my house, abandoned, and the house looked ran down and shit, but there was just a bright red door.
Oh no.
What the fuck?
And my best friend was should we walk up to it and go inside? I was fuck no, we shouldn't fucking walk up to it.
So I had I think you guys were over there when I had that bonfire, and Ramar was over here, and he was like, yeah, we were talking about random nodding. He was like, yeah, I went random nodding by myself, and I found a dead body.
Left. It was later after you had left. We were talking about random nodding.
Yeah.
Am I saying it right?
Yeah, you are. He found a dead body. He went to in the city, right in Toledo. He had went to like a fucking abandoned factory somewhere, and he had walked
Well,
in.
the app took him to the abandoned factory.
Yes, random nodding app took him to this abandoned factory. So he said he took one step in the doorway, and there was a decomposed dead body. And he said, I was like, what'd you do? He's like, bro, I just walked right back out and left.
Everyone was like, did you call the cops? He's like, hey, oh no, I didn't call the cops.
He's like, I'm black. I didn't call the cops, I'm black. And I'm like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like, how are you going to explain that? Hey, yeah, I went on this random nodding app, dude, and I was just like trying to like meditate and like fixate on like what I wanted, and then it brought me to a dead body, so I saw it and I called you guys. What?
Next thing they'll like find his fingerprints or some weird whack ass shit.
Yeah, dude, it was just like, yeah, no, I don't want to go random nodding with
they
you.
say you can go rando nodding for like good things though too. And really, there is a lot of stuff out right now about like the human mind being able to like change things, like telekinesis and that type of thing. And there's this test that these scientists did on people, where it was a random system of 2s and 1s, and they had to sit there and focus on one or the 2, and that they were able to, with their mind, start changing the numbers in the system. So if they were thinking of the number 1, then this system that had equal numbers of 1 and 2 would randomly start having more 1s.
That's crazy.
And they didn't just do it once on one person.
Right.
They ran a whole study on it.
No, I believe in that. You guys see like the Iceman, the guy who does takes like, he's like an Arctic he jumps in like Arctic water and he just sits in there for hours.
Yeah.
That guy does like deep breathing techniques and shit. There's like a lot to do about like while he's doing that, he's meditating in his head. And there's I don't know, bro. People are like, the mind's a crazy thing.
When the government came out with the whole UFO spiel, most of it was actually about meditation and intuition, and they are actually like, the government will seek someone out who claims to have like great levels of the ability to meditate. And like some people are able to, like, meditating is hard. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever sat down and tried to meditate, but it's hard as fuck. Like, people who are able to sit and go into deep meditation and have out-of-body experiences and claim to go to different dimensions and things like that, that is considered one of the most powerful things in the world. And the government will actually hire people.
Well, have you guys ever watched that movie, Men Who Stare at Goats? So it's a movie with George Clooney. It's kind of like a funny movie about MK Ultra, right? MK Ultra is where they force-fed fucking people fucking hallucinogens
Russian spies and shit.
to see what it would do to them, right? The whole point of the project was to make a super soldier, but not in the way that you would think. It was to make like operatives forget information, so like they would know information, but they wouldn't know they would know it. And then I could say, blue dog, and they'd be like, okay, yes. And they would give me like the nuclear warhead codes.
Spies.
To wherever.
But people who didn't know they were spies, so that if they were interrogated, nothing could be pulled out of them.
Right.
Correct. Well, in these MK Ultra studies, bro, they were like fucking exploding goats' heads. They were like used telepathy to like explode goats' heads and like fucking walk through walls and shit. By the way,
That's where the TV show Stranger Things, actually, most of that show comes off of. I keep doing that.
You're a hand talker, babe. It's
I
okay.
know. No, it got caught on my boot. That's where most of the story from Stranger Things actually came from, was the MK Ultra.
I love that show.
Yeah, it's a good show.
You know how Eleven's able to like do crazy shit? Yeah, that's MK Ultra stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry, viewers, I keep fucking up my mic.
Yeah, the book Chaos is really good, where it talks about Charlie Sheen fucking being a part of the MK Ultra. Not Charlie Sheen, fucking Charles Manson being a part of the MK Ultra. They don't say if it's for sure, but the author just kind of leads to it, like, this is the information I have, and it's well documented.
I'm still laughing about the mic falling. I just stood there like,
Well, guys, it was good having you guys on the podcast. I'm so glad you come to the Aggro Labs podcast. Both of you, I was so excited to have you guys on. I'm sure Jason's fucking just bored out of his mind, dude. I'm sure he's just fucking so sick of this shit, dude.
I think you should have women on your podcast more often.
Cameron, let me see your list.
We kind of went over a lot of it.
Sex.
I didn't even get into it.
I know, we just touched the surface.
What else is on there?
Growing up as a woman in America.
We touched on it.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for coming on the Aggro Labs podcast. You can find the Aggro Labs podcast on Instagram, Spotify, Apple Music. You can watch us on Instagram. Follow the page and stay aggro. We're out.